All right. Not tonight, my friends. Not tonight. Oh, man. I needed that. I needed that. And it has a little bit more meaning now when I say I am getting too old for this shit. Okay. Whew, boy, that was a game. That was a game and a half. It was actually like 3 games in one. It was 3 games in one. But somehow, some way, the Knicks continue to play basketball, which is nice. There are so many places that we could start right now. I will actually start by saying the prophecy has come true. Hashtag 53 wins. You got it, Robert Cross. Listen, give credit where credit is due. This crazy man's delirium finally came true. We start with that. Number 2, I thought tonight, whether they won or they lost the series, was a massively important game going into the summer because, and I'm started thinking about it today, it doesn't matter how big of a surprise the season was. It doesn't matter how much this team exceeded expectations. It doesn't matter how there were so many feel great moments about the 2022-23 Knicks. It wouldn't have mattered, I think, if they went out so meekly as to make us question what this team was made out of. And look, there's still an opportunity, I suppose, for them to go out meekly. But for me, for them to go in there, be down 10 in the first quarter and look like they were going to go out in exactly the way that I feared, which was going to perhaps lead to some really, really uncomfortable offseason questions that may still be asked, but like they were staring us in the face. And it was looking like all of the vibes, all those immaculate vibes that we talked about for months upon end, we're going to go right down the toilet in a way where, again, even outpacing expectations as much as they did, if they would have gone out in a certain type of way, I think it really would have done a number on the ability to carry those forward into the offseason and into next year. So for them to dig down deep and find that reserve of something that they found starting in the second quarter of this game. Speaking of the start of the second quarter of this game. So I wasn't going to do this because I hate talking about it, but I have a reason that I have to do it. Today is my birthday. I turned 40 today. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because I received a present for my birthday. And I have to say that because never in a million years would I have spent the money to purchase this thing. But my wife, because she loves me to no end, and is call it like it is. She's the reason Knicks Film School exists. Do you think I'd be doing this shit if I didn't have a supportive wife? Come on. She got this for me. So this, if you don't know, is, yes, it is the Slam, the most recent Slam edition with Jalen Brunson on the cover. But it is not the regular one. Let's see if I can get it right up to the camera. This is the gold medal edition. They only make 94 of these babies. My wife went out and, so I don't know where the hell she got it or ordered it from, but got this for me today. And I looked at it. And I was feeling pretty down in the dumps all day about this game. And then I opened this thing up, and I looked at this mean mug staring me in the face. And I said, you know what? Let's go. Let's see what happens tonight. Let's toss the ball up. Let's play 48. Now, when I said to myself, let's toss the ball up and play 48, I was not trying to speak into existence him, and that is his actual name, him, formerly Jalen Brunson. I did not mean to speak it into existence that he personally would play all 48 minutes. But that's what happened. And why did that happen? Because Jalen Brunson is a different breed. And for him to come out tonight and put up, I mean, we could just call it like it is, one of the greatest Knick playoff performances in history. So 38 points, 7 assists, 9 rebounds, did not sit. 48 minutes. It's one of the greatest postseason performances in Knick history. It's full stop. There's no asterisk. There's no caveats. There's no nothing. One of the greatest postseason performances in New York Knicks history. That is what we witnessed. And for him to take the team and put it on his back starting in the second quarter there, and it wasn't just him, to be clear, but coming out of the first, because you could tell from how he went about his business in that second quarter, he was like, we're not going out like this. And they didn't. And he gets the first nod as to why that is the case. He does not get the only nod because on this night, and I'm going to toast to this gentleman right now, there was somebody else who the madman, our coach, Tom Thibodeau, decided, you know what? One ain't enough. I am going to equal a Knick record that has not been touched for 51 years. And they just said it on the broadcast. That is not one, but 2 New York Knickerbockers playing all 48 minutes of a postseason basketball game. Hadn't been done since Walt Frazier and Jerry Lucas, 2 of the 75 greatest players to ever live, in 1972. Well, Quentin Grimes joined Jalen Brunson in not sitting tonight. And that is because, again, Tom Thibodeau felt like he didn't have a choice. And I don't blame him. Because Quentin Grimes, look, we've come a long way from game one where he played 10 minutes and everybody was looking around afterwards and be like, well, wait a minute. Why did Quentin Grimes play 10 minutes for this team that desperately needs spacing? And you started to see the change happen in game 2 when he played 25 minutes. And eventually it got us to game 4 when he got back into the starting lineup. And it made a difference. And tonight, I thought his impact throughout the game was, defensively, I thought he was everything they could possibly ask for and then some. He was solid all game long. Offensively, whether or not he actually is hitting the shots or not, his presence out there does so much. 3 of 8 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. But of course, none of that matters in comparison to the steal. We've had some moments in New York Knick history. Here comes Willis. We had the dunk. We had the shot, Allen Houston. We had the 4-point play. And now we have the steal. That is how big that play was. And I'll credit the original Knicks Film School himself, JB. He tweeted it out. I love it. I love it because you want to talk about we've been waiting for something that we could point to as the spiritual predecessor to the Willis Reed game. This being obviously the year that we lost the captain. In 50 years since the last Knick championship. And I think we got it tonight with that moment after, I don't know if he sprained his ankle. I don't know if he twisted his ankle. I don't know what he did, but it was all I could see in that moment when Grimes, whatever happened to him when he got hurt, and he hustles back to try to get on Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler. He was not guarding Duncan Robinson one-on-one. He was not guarding Max Strus one-on-one. He was not guarding Gabe Vincent one-on-one. He was guarding Jimmy Butler on one working ankle, and somehow, some way, not only managed to prevent a shot, prevent a drive, but to come up with that steal that I know they came down and they didn't get any points, and it actually turned into a 5-second violation, which was, oh my God, did the Knicks have some issues in this game that we are going to talk about? But limping and coming up with that play. Jalen Brunson had one of the greatest games in New York Knicks playoff history. Quentin Grimes had one of the greatest moments in New York Knicks playoff history. So credit to him for that. Those two guys, I think, and the game from Brunson the moment from Grimes, the team as a whole, the medal that they showed. I think those are the leading stories. I feel like the next guy I want to go to is RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett had an uneven game down the stretch. Maybe not the what guy you want bringing the ball up. Maybe not the guy you want inbounding it. But, and man, there are a lot of buts here. Again, I, not putting anybody else in this category, I had so many doubts about him coming into this postseason, and all he does is keep answering the questions. 26 and 7 rebounds on 8 of 17 shooting. Took 4 free throws down the stretch of a game, which was, oh boy, where there's some tight sphincters in the Garden. And you could tell there were some tight sphincters in the Garden because as that game went to the last 5 minutes, the Garden, it wasn't silent, but it was a nervous Madison Square Garden. And it just goes to show for him to take 4 free throws, for him to make 4 free throws. And also, not to be outdone, the pass to Mitch to make it 97-91 when it was really, 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 with all due respect to the last few minutes of this game, and I know it got down to 3 in the last few minutes, and we'll talk about some of the things that happened down the stretch, but for me, and I think for a lot of us maybe, the scariest hours came a few minutes earlier in the middle of the fourth quarter, around that 8-7 minute mark. And we were not at play of the game yet, but there was the Brunson 3 or moment of the game. There was the Brunson 3 there. And then shortly after the Brunson 3, and Duncan Robinson hit a 3 right back. So it really, like, as big as the Brunson 3 was, it was nullified on the very next possession to get it back to 95-91. RJ hit Mitch for that dunk to make it 97-91. And just another great game for RJ Barrett. Again, an imperfect game, sure, but a great game. You could have a great game with imperfections, and that's exactly what RJ Barrett did. Was also instrumental in getting the momentum back in their favor starting in that second quarter. Speaking of RJ to Mitch, this has not been Mitchell Robinson's best series. I don't even know if this was Mitchell Robinson's best game. He has been uneven, shall we say, at times. But for that dude to take 6 free throws down the stretch of this game, including 4 free throws after they hacked him intentionally, and to make 3 of those 4, including the last 2 they did on the hack of Mitch, again, right after Brunson, Grimes, RJ in some order, I'm putting Mitch right up there just for, like, you need to, like, that was a game. I turned to my wife, who was living on the edge here with me for this one. With a few minutes left, I was like, I'm trying to think I think it was when Jimmy hit a really nice long 2, very well defended long 2, and he hit it like it was nothing. I want to say that was with like 3-4 minutes remaining, something along those lines. I turned to her and I said, yeah, they might lose this game. 3:22 left. It was a 19-foot pull-up to make it 103-100. And then he ended up coming back down and hit another free throw. And then we'll get to one of the moment of the game candidates in a little bit to give them Knicks some breathing room. But, like, yeah. I'm sorry. I can't even keep my thoughts straight. This is how crazy this game was. So yeah, Mitchell Robinson, awesome. I gotta go to Obi Toppin next. And look, I don't know if it's gonna get lost in the sands of time, because of the numbers that Brunson put up in this game and the numbers that RJ put up in this game and the big moment from Grimes and obviously the big free throws from Mitch and the whole thing. And this player that I'm about to mention scored all of 2 points in 12 minutes of action. Nobody outside of Brunson, RJ, and Randle really did much scoring for the Knicks tonight. But Obi Toppin, I don't want to say Obi Toppin single-handedly changed the energy of this game when he came in the second quarter, because I think Jimmy Butler going out of the game had something to do with it. I think Jalen Brunson making a commitment to do what he did had something to do with it. I think Duncan Robinson entering the game for the Heat at the beginning of the second quarter, and I know Duncan Robinson ended up getting his by the end of this game. He ended up going 5 of 10 from deep. This was the Duncan Robinson game, and we withstood it, thank God. I think that had something to do with it as well. All those things had to do with it. But Obi Toppin coming in and just being Obi Toppin and just doing Obi Toppin things for that stretch of basketball. And I mean, look, I imagine my guess is that Obi was, if I was Obi, I probably wouldn't have been thrilled not playing in the second half of the last game. That's just my guess. And a lot of players in a situation like that, I could see coming into a game down 10, 1-2-3 Cancun is right there for you. If you want it, it's right there. And just being like, you know what? Fuck this. I'll go through. You know what? If everybody else wants to go through the motions, I'll go through the motions too. He didn't do that. He did the opposite of that. He completely turned around the energy level, or was a large driving force from turning it around. And again, he ends up with 2 points. He made some mistakes there in the second half when he got in. I don't care. His job was done. I would actually go so far as to say his impact in the second quarter of this game exceeded, even though, he didn't really score. I would go so far as to say it exceeded his impact in the third quarter of Game 5 against Cleveland, even though he was responsible for, I'm pretty sure, half of the field goals in that third quarter after Julius went down at the end of the second quarter in that game. So fantastic job by Obi Toppin. I kind of mentioned him before, but I thought Isaiah Hartenstein was excellent. Spoiler alert, I'm probably going to argue that he gets them. Well, not the moment of the game, because Grimes has the moment of the fucking season, maybe the moment of the decade. But so Hartenstein's going to lose it, but Hartenstein's putback dunk after it got down to 2. Crazy. And that leaves one guy that we haven't talked about tonight. Actually, no, 2 guys. Josh Hart. Sorry, Josh. Josh Hart wasn't your night tonight. I'm not going to do too much hand-wringing about Josh Hart. Josh Hart, I think, has had a really nice playoffs overall, even though this game and the last game were not too good. Sometimes it's not your night. Sometimes you get in a little rut. I think he's in a rut right now. We'll talk about the impact that might have on Friday night in Miami. Deuce, shout out to Deuce, came in, did his job in his short stint. Okay. That only leaves one guy. And I might have to call Andrew up here for this one.
What did I do?
Oh, you didn't do anything. I just need.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't have a work animal. You have to do the job.
Say that again.
I said I don't have like a support animal, like one of the, like a dog or a monkey or something.
I got you. Bounce it off me. You got it.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to be, if I could, I can't pet anything soft. I
don't pet me either. Just throwing that out there.
I wouldn't pet you.
Okay, cool.
Don't worry. I know my limits. I don't know how to talk about Julius Randle anymore. I've been doing it now for 4 years, and I've said all the words that I could say about this player. And listen, Julius Randle had, I would argue, not a great second half. He had a really good second half of this game.
Why wouldn't you go to great?
I did think that there were some moments defensively at the end of the third quarter that were maybe a little bit lacking.
Fair.
Fair. That said, came in the fourth quarter, and I thought, other than the turnover where he did the Julius thing and got blinders on and didn't see the other 4 players in another uniform surrounding him, other than that moment where he turned the ball over, he was great in the fourth quarter, doing all the dirty work, getting in there for stuff. But like whatever, he was a notch below great. Maybe he was great. Whatever you want to say. Again, and it's not all on him. It's not all on him. I think that the team collectively was a little. I mean, they were off. They were. I mean, again, the lack of poise, the the mistakes, the get your heads out of your butts. Again, collectively in that first quarter was not great, but he was, oh my God, was he the captain of that ship? And I was staring at, and then he came, almost worse. He came back in the end of the second quarter, and I know he scored some points there at the end. I didn't think his energy was any better when he came back in initially, at least initially.
So to your point about the end of the second, the way I processed it, because I sent it to the KFS faculty chat, comes back in 3:23 left. They're up by 8 or 9.
They were up by 1, I think.
Or whatever. They were up. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm very curious how this goes. And it was like, let's not now leave the half down 5 because Randle's back in.
Yeah, you were worried.
And my entire thought process, and I think this was just don't fuck it up. And that's how I thought you played, was like, okay, there's clearly a good thing happening without me. How do I not overdo it, not overexert myself to where I'm detrimental?
That's fine.
Which is why the plays he had was getting to the line 3 times and the 3 at the end of the quarter.
You're
That's
absolutely
all
right.
he did in 3 minutes. And it's why I can't say it was good, but
Yeah,
it was
no,
just don't fuck it up.
That's fine. But man, look, they won the game, and he was really good in the second half, if not great.
Mm-hmm.
He is just
that first quarter.
He's the most difficult player I've ever had to root for.
Listen, the last 2 days has been exhausting, the take cycles. Then I'm part of it because I understand it.
Yeah.
Even when Randle is good, got named to his second All-NBA team today.
Unbelievable.
There's 2 Knicks that have done that this century. It's Carmelo Anthony and Julius Randle.
Can we stay on that for 1 second? Because,
mm-hmm.
And again, we all get emotional in the moment. But, one, I'm not sure anybody on the Knicks since, in my lifetime, maybe I'm forgetting someone. I'm not sure that anyone on the Knicks that I've ever watched elicits the emotions in the fan base, both good and bad, but just strong emotions,
mm-hmm.
as this player does. That's number one. Number two, so we've now swung back in the other direction because he picked himself up. But if you would have asked every Knicks fan, maybe not every Knicks fan, a lot of Knicks fans after the first quarter, this guy just got named to his second All-NBA team in the last 3 seasons 2 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
What would you trade him for? How many would have said a bag of balls?
Wow.
No, but that's
you're not wrong. That's the thing. That's how. Can I give
I'm
you
not
some
wrong.
Context to that? Because you're right. The Knicks put up a graphic on Instagram of congrats to Julius making third team All-NBA, his second All-NBA team. My friend group chat posted a picture of the comments underneath, and they are exactly what you said. Can he be selected to the second round team? Because we haven't seen him show up there yet. I couldn't help but laugh, but that's the reality. We've been wondering when he's going to show up. And here's where I'm at with Julius, because the last 2 games were super disappointing. As somebody that's tried to be in the camp of it's rare that you get guys that make all NBA teams that play in our uniform.
Yeah.
But I can't defend these 2 playoff performances. Shout out Ryan Russillo, pointed out play for play on his most recent podcast. He called game 4 the Julius Randle game, and then pointed out all the things we said. And then he said, I know someone's going to say he's hurt or playing with a bad ankle, but then I have this stretch in the fourth quarter where he's actually playing great defense and helping on closeouts and really, really attacking pick and rolls. And it's where was this guy in the first quarter with your season on the line? And what I will say is what we got in that third quarter, Julius, that'll play. Brunson couldn't carry us for 48 minutes. You needed to take over for a little bit. And the Knicks built a 19-point lead because him and RJ were creating offense. And that's why most of Brunson's points were wide open threes, because the ball was flying around. Julius is attacking the rim, no longer attacking Bam Adebayo. And he's either going up strong or he's hitting Quentin Grimes on that connector pass in the corner.
He's great.
That's Julius. That'll play. The effort right there. The sound offense to create. So it's not just all on Jalen Brunson. We'll take that. And if we get that again, not to look ahead, but maybe there is some redemption in your story arc that'll live long past this series.
Look, there's still time. I mean, look, they play another game, so obviously there's still time. But I felt we had to end the opening monologue with Julius. But no, we're not going to end it on a down note, because we're going to end it just one more time. Jalen Brunson. I can't even process that this guy is on our team. That we got this guy. I know I go back to this a lot, and maybe this is not the time to do it.
What?
Could you imagine being a Dallas Mavericks fan watching this game?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, does your TV survive that? I mean,
can I go a step further?
Does your Windows survive that?
Can I go a step further? Because yes, like LOL Mavs fans, I'm for you. Like, imagine being Luka Doncic watching this game.
Oh,
imagine
I think you're
being
Cuban, but that's fine.
Imagine being the superstar of that team that has seen you traded assets for Porzingis, that didn't pan out. You had a guy that you struck gold getting him in the second round, and he could develop into the perfect guy to play off of Luka. You take control of the offense for a bit, JB, and you let him walk. It's not even that you didn't sign him at 4 for 55. You let him walk, and out of spite, you didn't get an asset back. You made sure the Knicks got to give up a second-round pick to the heavens. And instead,
out of spite,
Luka is at home watching with us. So is Theo Pinson. By the way, love the show, Theo. You have the same amount of playoff points as I. Okay. But Jalen Brunson, necessary. Okay. Too many clips going around that are leading to confirmation bias. Theo Pinson was a fun bench warmer for a year. Let's move on with 16 game players. Anyway, Jalen Brunson, this is a guy that you build around. This is speaking of 16 game players. And look, being the resident Melo guy here at KFS, Melo doesn't have a moment like this. Melo doesn't have like the game 4.
Well, what was the Boston?
Heat. That's a loss. That's my point, though. He does have a 42.17 rebound performance in a loss. And it was a
great game.
It's to me his best playoff performance.
Oh,
but it's
it was
in a loss.
Best, yeah.
Like, this is the Jalen Brunson game, as far as I'm concerned. Played 48 minutes at his size, and you're right. We have him on a descending contract for the next bunch of years, and he's ours.
I just want to say one other thing, and then we'll do personal injury report and then moment of the game. Benji tweeted out something to the effect of like, I think it was in the aftermath of game 4. But he said the words like, you build around Brunson. And I was thinking about that today and yesterday a little bit. And like when you hear those words specifically in the context of an NBA team, it is usually that like that the player you're building around is the best player on the team. You know, you build around Giannis, build around the strengths of Giannis, build around, Steph Curry, build around LeBron James, whatever. We get it. Is Jalen Brunson on the level of those players? Like, I don't, but here's my point. He is, in terms of, I mean, obviously he's a basketball player, but as a culture setter and as a guy that like, can he be the quote-unquote best player on a championship team? I don't think he could be maybe the best player on a championship team, but can he be the most important player on a championship team? Abso-freaking-lutely. And I will double down on what Benji said, which is that this is a guy you absolutely build around. Mm-hmm. You have him go out and figure out how to make the best team around Jalen Brunson because he's that good, he's that valuable, he's that important, he cares about the right things too much. And don't make the mistake that they'll never make the mistake that the Dallas Mavericks did. I don't know that any team would ever do that again. But it's just, what more could you possibly want? What does this bring his playoff average up to? 27 points a game, I think, something like that. I don't know.
I'll look it up.
He hasn't scored under 20 points in a playoff game still with the Knicks. It's By the way, he averaged 21 in the playoffs per game last year. Through I forget how many playoff games he played last year. He played quite a few playoff games last year too. I mean, he's just what a godsend.
18. But you're right.
Yeah.
This is now a second playoff where, and this one he's doing it with more responsibility.
Oh my God, more response, and that's the other part. Like, he's hurt.
Mm-hmm. He's played 48 minutes.
He played 48 minutes. And he scored 38 points, and he's not physically right.
Legit blows my mind that with everything he's dealing with, like it's a thing. Also, not to get like too sappy and corny about it, but that's the shit New York eats up. Like a hard worker, an effort guy. Like, you're not taking me out of this game tonight. I'll play 48 if that's what it takes. Like, it's a guy that you build around. It's a guy you build a culture around. And yeah, I'm really glad that he's ours.
It's the guy that makes 2 decades worth the wait.
Well said. Should end the show on that. Can we do moment of the game first, by the way? Because I want to switch things up. I want to start something. So I've got written down. So there's 5:10 left, and it made it 39 4. No. What did I write here?
I have no idea.
On 5:10, someone went from 39 to 40. Happy birthday, Jonathan Macri! Oh, you didn't think I was going to do something special for your birthday? You didn't think I was going to do something special for your birthday? You didn't think I was going to do he didn't think I was going to do something special on his birthday. Guess what, everybody? We got a special thing going on. First of all, welcome to the stage, Mr. Bernard Ozarowski.
Happy birthday, buddy!
John's buddy
Let's
from
go,
law
Knicks!
school. Oh, by the way, welcome to the stage, Yash Manjanath.
Hey!
It's a Fordham Law School reunion here on the post-game show. Thank God the Knicks won.
That's right. Thank God
This is so much better than if they had lost.
Yes. Oh, this wasn't happening if they lost, John.
Oh, I was about to say that. Hey, Logan, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah.
For anybody who's listening and is not watching live on YouTube, these are my two of my best friends in the world. You've heard them on the podcast several times, probably drunk.
Yes.
Certainly drunk.
Probably.
Yash and Oz, they are, I mean, they make me look like an upstanding citizen, which is really tough to do. But thank you guys for coming on.
I have no obligations. I'm like you now.
Yeah.
Macri, I would like to wish you not only a happy birthday to you, but more importantly, happy birthday to your liver for making it to 40. Working harder than Stacey's suit buttons.
I thought you were gonna say working harder than Jalen Brunson tonight.
I think maybe the best part is that Duncan Robinson was resurrected for your birthday, John. Your former fetish object has returned to the ground.
Max him out. Give him all the money. Oh God, this is great, guys. Thank you. And Yash, as the
where's Crowan?
He's right here.
Oh yeah, where is he?
Yash is the guy who sent me this when this showed up in the mail one day. What was it, last year, I guess? But you listen, you spoke it into existence. You spoke RJ Barrett becoming the player that we could say becoming the player that he is. I don't even think there's any question anymore. For as much as we're talking about Jalen Brunson as a superstar ascending before our eyes, like RJ Barrett, like is there any question that what he's doing at 22 years old, that he could be the top three player on a contending team? I think it's the other most important question that's been answered in this postseason.
A star has been born. One of your all-time favorite movies.
It is. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
it's a great movie.
It's a perfectly great movie. No, it's. I know everybody's going to say the moment of the game was the Grimes steal, and like, of course, it's in my top 2. But my moment of the game are those RJ free throws.
They're big
because the only time I really felt like they might lose the game down the stretch was he has the horrible turnover, failure to inbound within 5 seconds. Bam has the dunk.
Yes.
And the Heat have all the momentum. They're only down 4. And if RJ misses those free throws, all bets are off. And you see in his face the fear. I'm like, oh man, I'm so nervous. What's going to happen right now? But he still buries him because the kid is a fucking warrior. And I don't know who's going to be here and who isn't going to be here when the Knicks finally win the championship, but I hope that guy's here.
We do know because they're all on the court tonight. You son of a bitch.
Bernard, I want to go to you quick because I alluded to it. You were perhaps the happiest man in New York when the Knicks signed Isaiah Hartenstein.
Got put back. Holy
that is
shit.
that. I mean, again, were it not for the Grimes steal, because again, let's just go back to it for a second. The Heat had gotten it. Thank God Butler missed one of those free throws, by the way. The Heat had gotten it down to a 2-point game with over 2 minutes left. And that was was that a poor offensive possession that followed by the New York Knickerbockers. But by the way, on the Hartenstein dunk, credit RJ with the Kobe. That was a legitimate Kobe assist because it brought the help. Yeah. And I'm just, is there a hole in your ceiling after you jumped up after that went down, Bernard?
I mean, I guess I probably on a live stream, Andrew will kill me if I make a joke about what sort of stain was created, but whatever.
It's you just did. You just did.
Oh, well, I didn't say
Hashtag we here. We're good.
we here.
We here.
Man, this was great. Thank you guys for staying up late and making my birthday extra special.
We have to sing happy birthday?
Please God, no, you're not doing that. No, we've made it. Let's see. They've been on here for 5 minutes. We're not canceled yet. I think we should we should just like be thankful, Andrew.
Thank you to Oz and Yash. I texted them early in the game and was like, if the Knicks, I gotta be honest, I texted you guys when they're up 19.
You almost jinxed it.
I didn't jinx it. I made sure I said
they started playing like dog shit.
I said
that game wasn't over.
I used qualifying words and I was like, let's hope the Knicks close the deal. I made sure I said I would send it when the game was in hand, and then
it immediately came a 4-point lead.
Claudio Curse, bad job by me. I will say that I also have like a show to produce. It was like, I can't send it to these guys when he's live. So I wanted to make sure you were ready to go when it happens. Point being, I was sweating that out because I knew this was going to be fun and special, and I couldn't be known forever that I ruined John's 40th birthday surprise because I sent them a link too early. Thank you, Jalen Brunson.
Yes.
Thank you, Mitchell Robinson, for hitting your free throws. Thank you, RJ Barrett, for being clutch down the stretch and hitting your free throws. And I can't believe I'm saying this. A hustle play by Julius Randle is the closer to the game.
Miracles do happen.
Oh, man.
Before we get going, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to my boy Karan, KFS fan, who also lives here in St. Louis. He and I made plans to watch Game 6 together, which obviously this game needed to be a win if that was going to happen. And I see him about as often as I see you, Macri, because he has 2 young kids, even though he lives here in St. Louis. But after Game 6, God willing, Saturday morning, getting on a plane and celebrating in person with UND. Can't wait.
I look forward to that. Can't wait to see you. But great seeing you guys now. Bring back, obviously, a lot of memories.
So that's not a surprise.
What?
So that's not a surprise. What's happening this weekend?
No, that is not a surprise.
Okay. I thought you just spoiled it on YouTube. I gotta be honest.
No, I know,
Okay.
I am going out.
Things are happening.
Anyway, okay, enough of this. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Love you too, guys.
Yash
Thank
and
you.
Oz, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, thank you. Seriously, thank you. Love you.
Thank you.
We'll
Love you too, Andrew.
get canceled in the group chat later.
Yes, later.
Okay.
We made it.
So a real show, personal injury report. Go ahead.
Personal injury report presented by our other good friends at Weiss and Rosenblum. I was texting with Barry today. He was pumped up for this game, and I think he was in attendance. I'm not sure. But yeah, if you have a potential personal injury matter, or you think you got hurt, something happened, anything, and you just want to know more information from veteran attorneys, people you could trust, people you could rely on, call Weiss and Rosenblum today at 212-366-6100. Again, 212-366-6100. I promise you, no case is too big or too small. They will give you their honest opinion with a free consultation over the phone. And then if they decide to take your case, obviously they don't get paid anything unless you do. You could also visit them at weissandrosenmove.com for more information. Veterans, not rookies. Some veterans came through tonight. Thankfully, the veterans that came through were not members of the Miami Heat. Didn't need any of that action. Prior results don't guarantee future outcomes. One more time, 212-366-6100. So tonight, no Emmanuel Quickley again.
No.
No game time decision nonsense, just out. Leads me to believe we are probably not seeing Emmanuel Quickley. I won't go so far as to say the rest of the series, because obviously the series needs to get past Friday for there to be anything more of a series. I don't think we're seeing him on Friday. Mitch seemed to turn his ankle a little bit when he landed on Bam, but then he came back in the game. We'll see.
Bro, everybody's hurt. I'm not saying like you're not saying that, but that's where all our pets' heads are falling off. That's how this series has gone.
You know what? At this point, if Mitch, I think Mitch will be fine. I think Mitch is tougher. I think that he probably gets credit for. I think he'll be out there. Anything else that I missed?
Julius got punched in the face and had
oh my god, yes, Julius got scratched in the
that
eye.
Thing got swollen in the third quarter, and I'm waiting for but NBA.com to let me do this, but I'm trying to see, did he take more than that last shot in the fourth quarter?
I
don't think so. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that the man could not see.
But he was still making free throws.
Did he take free throws in the fourth quarter?
Well, no, but the scratch happened early on in the game.
I'm saying as it swelled up. Like, I think what happened is as the game went along.
Okay.
Yeah, he took one shot in the fourth quarter, and it was a hustle play. He was out there to be a decoy and to it's honestly why I thought that the Ben Simmons play where he got the ball near the rim and then passed it to Mitch, and everybody's like, why did he pass that? And I'm like, can he see? Now, that might be going too far for an excuse. I'm not going to go all the way and say that's why that happened. But the bigger that swelled up, I was wondering if, like, he looked like in Hitch when Will Smith ate the fish.
Yes.
And yeah, I was like, oh, this is now officially swollen up. I'm wondering how his vision is. So
we should also note that Julius Randle made his last 6 shots of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Last one of the end of the second quarter, all 4 shots in the third quarter. Only shot he took in the fourth quarter.
5 of 5 in the second half, 14 points, +9. Like, that's why, like, I hear you. The end of the third quarter was a thing. I thought it was outstanding in the second half. Also, three boards, 4 assists.
Yeah. No, he redeemed himself, but it's like the fact that he needed to redeem himself yet again. You know,
it's part of the experience. It's why. So shout out Sean with the W, who he was saying earlier today, like, the reason if someone's out on Randle, that it's like, you have to understand it, is like, I'm tired of having one of the most important players on my team be someone that I need to know what side of the bed he woke up on. Like, did he eat his Wheaties today? And you have no idea if you're going to get like an efficient, trying hard, playing smart Julius Randle, or, game 3.
I was going
to even game 4, Julius Randle.
I was gonna make it a relationship analogy. Like, have you ever? We don't have to get into this, but like, if you've ever dated that person, boy, girl, whatever, that like you pray that like they didn't wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and like it is the most you can't. It makes it impossible to like exist. This is like one level down from that, but. Yeah. Sports fandom matters.
I'm here because Anthony Sixto, the hashtag Ride with Randle, is blowing up the chat right now. Gotta just give Julius his flowers. After he came back in from the second quarter on, he was outstanding in this game,
for sure. But like, again,
that first quarter didn't happen. That's all I'm gonna say. Which didn't happen.
It was the first quarter happening coming off of game 4. That's the thing, But we live to see another day. Okay. Moment of the game. If we're doing 3, I mean 2 are easy. I think the Grimes stop and steal, and then the Hartenstein putback, I think, has to be one of the candidates. I think you could go in a few different directions for the other one. I personally would go, even though it was earlier in the fourth, I would go with the Brunson 3 that ended the 9-0 run to make it 95-88. That would be because it was a step back 3. it was I know Duncan Robinson came back down and hit a shot, but like the cojones to take that shot and then make that shot, I just thought unrivaled.
So can I get more creative with it? Because I
Sure.
think the Duncan Robinson shot does nullify it for me a little bit. I do think in the same spirit, there is we need to make sure Jalen Brunson gets a moment involved here. So I'm going to go with
102.96.
I guess 102. Yeah, okay. The 102.96, that can work. I was going back to the second quarter because I thought we were headed for Cancun at the end of the first.
Oh, so you want to go like right out of the gate of the second quarter?
Yeah, because after that, it's like Mitchell Robinson made 4 of 6 free throws down the stretch. After Eric Spoelstra, God, that man, Bill Belichick, goes hack-a-Mitch and decides that we're gonna let if Mitch can hit free throws, then the Knicks will win. And guess what? Mitch hit free throws, so I had that his free throws to put them up 7 and then 8 down the stretch as an option. But if you want to go with a Jalen Brunson moment, he had an and one to put the Knicks up for the first time in the game, 29-26, and that was part of that stretch in the second quarter when with Obi in the game it was an 18-2 run. Now RJ hit a 3 after that on a Jalen Brunson assist, so like either one of those, but that's when like, okay, we have a lineup that's working. Tibbs let it ride, and he did. And that's when I suddenly realized the season's not over.
And let's say, look, again, it's another with Tibbs. Perfect game? No, it rarely is. This team had an opportunity to quit on this head coach and say, you know what, enough of this, we're done. I think to a certain extent, it is a little bit reflective of like whether maybe they do it because they hate him. Who the hell knows? But doesn't matter.
What was the one piece of smoke I had for him last game?
I actually forget. What was it?
Start of the second quarter, the non-Jimmy, non-Bam minutes. Why did you have not enough offense out there? And he let obviously Jalen Brunson was playing 48 minutes, but that's an adjustment that ensures like we're gonna make sure we win these minutes. Goddamn it.
My adjustment is I'm not going to bench or sit my players.
Listen, sometimes it's all it takes. Steve Kerr, one of the best adjustments he made as a Brooklyn Net head coach. KD, you're playing every minute of game 5, and you're playing every minute of game 7. Yeah. I don't think Jalen Brunson is sitting the rest of the series, by the way.
By the way, and again, if you think this is only Tibbs who does this shit, like go. Speaking of catching some smoke, Monty Williams keeping, I think, Booker and again Durant post Achilles, post whatever injury he had earlier this year, played over 40 minutes in what essentially was a blowout in game. What was it? Game 5 last night. So, again, this is a thing that coaches do. Okay.
Did I say Steve Kerr? I meant Steve Nash.
I thought you said Steve Nash.
Okay, Sixto's in the chat saying I meant Steve. Kerr.
Whatever.
So regardless,
it's funny. I heard Steve Nash. Maybe you did say Steve Kerr.
I meant Steve Nash. If that's where I was going to.
Yeah. Very last thing I'll say, and then we'll get to Super Chats. I don't know what's gonna happen on Friday night. Miami has been a place that the Knicks, I mean, recently have done pretty well in. I don't think they feel uncomfortable down there. I'm sure the Heat will. I mean, the Heat are going to be ready to play. The Heat are also. Hold on. What did the Heat end up shooting from 3 tonight? Let me take a guess. I bet you they ended up topping 30%.
They did 30.2.
There we go.
13 of 43 from 3 for the Miami Heat.
Barely topped that number. So yeah, they'll be ready. Look, maybe the Knicks go down there and they get their butt kicked. I wonder the fact that the Heat essentially lost this game. I don't want to say they lost this game twice, but like they had the early 10-point lead, let that completely slip away. And then they came back and they had the game not right there for the taking, but like, man, Jimmy Butler's at the line to get it to within 1 with 2 minutes to go.
Weird Jimmy Butler game, by the way.
Very weird Jimmy Butler game.
Yeah. Like had some bad fouls, had some bad defense at times. Like RJ kind of took it to him a few times.
Yeah, you know? I agree. So like, look, they're you could argue they're the most mentally strong team in the league, and I would hear that argument. So I don't think any of this will bleed over into it, but like they had it. It was there for not that they had it, it was there for them, right? It was there, it was within reach. And usually, not always, but usually, when this particular Miami Heat team, or this core that's been around the last few years, when a game is within reach, they grab it. They didn't grab this one. So, I don't know. I'm not like imbued with confidence for Friday, but I'm curious to see what happens in that game.
This is why, or really, this is what the biggest difference is between playing a team like the Heat and playing a team like the Cavs. If it was the Cavs and they let one slip away, I'd be like, oh, you know what? They're down. You could probably count on a performance with nerves and knowing that the hangover from letting the last game slip away into the next game, which is what we saw in Game 5 in Cleveland, that they had a chance to tie it up and they let it slip away. I think what we learned tonight is that you're not going to be able to count on the Heat to lose. You're going to have to beat them. And it's the biggest compliment. The biggest compliment I can give to the Knicks tonight. And I'm not giving Randle credit for saying the thing at the end of Game 4. This looked like a team that wanted it more. This looked like a team that didn't want their season to end. It's going to take one more effort to get it to Game 7, and then, go from there.
And I always do this. Last thing before we get to the Super Chats. I know, look, they had a 19-point lead. RJ had a chance. RJ had a decent look to put him up 21. It ended up with Mitch getting the offensive rebound, fouled, missed both of those free throws. So it was right there for them to go up by 20 at least. And it got down to a 2-point game. That's not great. And there were some not great moments in that comeback. It wasn't like a collapse or anything. I wouldn't define it as a collapse. It was more methodical by the Heat, and it came in a few different pushes. There were some bad moments. To be clear, there were some bad moments, ones you don't love to see, but they didn't let it slip away, and they made some plays. I think that's valuable, and I think that's important. I think that's notable, and I think the Knicks deserve a lot of credit for that.
I agree. You ready for
Shall
this?
we? Yeah.
Your birthday post game.
Can you listen?
It's acknowledged, and guess what's going to come up a lot in the super chat?
I brought it up only because, again, I needed to explain why I had this gold-plated magazine. Which,
and you opened Pandora's box. We are celebrating your birthday on the post game.
No, we're not doing that. We're celebrating the Knicks on the post game.
As a result, we will celebrate the Knicks, and you are the host of a post game live stream that still has 1,000 people watching live. Had as many as 1,500 people watching at one point. Are you ready, my friend?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Thanks, everybody. Joe Dugan starts us off tonight. The 2022-23 Knicks have finally shown up. Wow, a 20-point lead. I guess I know when this was sent. RJ is going to be a great, great Knick for a long, long time. Man, he's built different. Knicks in 7. I hope so. Joe. I hope you're right. That would be, boy, would that be some kind of story. Ben, one of our patrons, Ben Kim Gervey. Happy birthday, John. All the best, brother. Hashtag thanks, KFS. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. Always appreciate you and your really, truly insightful comments whenever we get a chance to talk, usually on the town halls. But, yeah. Hush Zoo. Love that our team doesn't move for rebounds.
Sent late in the third quarter.
Yeah, and look, I think that was the biggest frustrating part for me in the first quarter, and we did see it pop up a little bit again in the third quarter. It's weird because, again, I consider them to be the best offensive rebounding team in the league because I don't think Houston was doing that as like a real team. For a team that is such a good offensive rebounding team, this team has had real serious issues with defensive rebounding all year. And it's like, it's funny because, and I don't want to put it all on them because it's not all on. I think it comes down to 3 guys. And look, we're going to give a lot of praise to RJ Barrett on this post game, and Mitchell Robinson for hitting his free throws. I think RJ for his size, is not as quite as physical a rebounder as you'd like down on the block. I think that's number one. That's the least of the three important things. Mitch, I think when Mitch is like not really fully, like we know when we get a fully engaged Mitch, and then he's not, he doesn't go too far down, but when he goes a little bit down from there, the defensive rebounding, I think, is the thing that often falls off first. That's two. And then at the top of the list is when Randle's just like, and you see the difference, right? You see the difference. Well, like he came in flying for rebounds there in the fourth quarter. Doesn't always happen that way. So it's like, and that's your 3, your 4, and your 5. You're starting 3, 4, and 5. So when things are not going great with them, you're going to struggle on the defensive glass. Young, whose fault is it that Duncan keeps getting open? A legit question. I don't know if it's the plan by the coach or should I be blaming the players? So they have Jalen Brunson. Whenever Duncan Robinson's in the game, they have Jalen Brunson guarding him. And the problem, look, we're not saying anything bad about Jalen Brunson in this post game, but the reality is he is not a large man. He's short, and he is not he's not like the slitheriest. That's not a word. In terms of getting around screens. So and here's the other part of it. And this is the big part, I think. And this is why it's smart, I think, for the Heat to try to exploit to get the ball to Duncan Robinson when they have Brunson on him. Because when Brunson is extending that amount of energy on the offensive end, and then you have a shooter like Duncan Robinson, who his specialty is he could shoot off movement, like drop of a hat, sliver of space, get right around the screen. And the Heat are a great screening team. They're all illegal screens, but still they get away with it. So you're putting Jalen Brunson, who's doing everything on the other end, you put him through the ringer, running around to try to chase after Duncan Robinson. And then you talk about the Knicks bigs, traditionally play a little bit of drop. Now, that's in their DNA. Their DNA is to play drop. So you could adjust that in the playoffs, but it's not in their DNA to adjust it to a significant degree. So even if they play up a little bit more on Duncan Robinson, look, there's a reason Duncan Robinson was given $85 or $84 million. It's because he has this one skill, and it is an elite skill, and you saw it tonight. That's why you're seeing it, and I'll just give a shout-out to Benji because he's been screaming it from the rooftops all series. Just put Jalen Brunson on Gabe Vincent. Don't put him on Duncan Robinson. He could hold his own against Gabe Vincent. But they're going this way, and look, it almost lost them the game. But that's a Tibbs criticism for Brunson being matched up on him in the first place.
Can I actually not necessarily push back, but
sure.
So the alternative is putting him on Lowry, though, right?
No, Vincent.
Vincent wasn't in the game down the stretch.
Okay. So if Lowry's in the game, well, that might change. So that changes the calculus a little bit because. So who was in the game down the stretch? It was Robinson, Lowry, Butler, Bam, and who was the fifth?
Caleb Martin. And they
put
Julius
I don't want him on. I don't want him on Caleb Martin.
That's a nightmare every time. Which is why every time he had an open three, I was like, So the alternative is put him on Jimmy Butler or Kyle Lowry.
I mean, Lowry. Lowry's, again, Benji said this. Lowry's not looking to score around the rim. He's looking at who wants to shoot threes. And if he does drive, but he's looking to dish it if he drives. So
I think Kyle Lowry this series has earned the respect of he's so dangerous with the ball in his hands, whether it's as a catch and shoot player, whether it's as a pick and roll player, whether it's as a drive to the rim player. I was frustrated by it, but I also looked at the other options and was like, okay, if they're gonna beat us with Duncan Robinson, I tip my cap.
And the thing about Gabe Vincent, and again, I think if Benji was here, he'd admit this, Duncan Robinson's a really good offensive basketball player. He had one drive, I forget who he drove on, but in this game and he converted a tough look around the rim. That dude could score. So, and that's the thing that I always just and this is not a critique of Benji, because Benji, we'll go back and forth on this. He'll always give you the counterpoint as opposed to the thing that maybe is not being done. There's always there's always reasons why you're doing the thing you're doing as opposed to the thing you're not doing.
My point is I understood why they were not doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Not switching it as a result.
For sure. Excuse me. Something caught my throat. Here he is, the other man of the hour, Robert Cross. Happy birthday, it's your boy John. I got a present for you. 53 wins. Most of the KFS community loves you. That's literally the funniest thing I've ever read.
That's amazing. There is a portion, John, that thinks you suck. Just letting you know that. Robert Cross. You really know how to wish someone a happy birthday.
Oh my God. I want to say something that I won't. Thank you, Robert. Hashtag, that was great. That's definitely the hardest I've laughed today. Hashtag 53 wins. Thank you, man. Fucking fantastic. Ryan, what's going on, Ryan? Quentin Grimes locking up Jimmy on a bum leg. Him chasing shooters off ball screens for 48 minutes in 38 elimination game points, by the way. This is effort. This is New York. The playoffs reveal who you are. The playoffs reveal who you are. And, I think we always talk about like the benefits of, like, even if you're not a championship contending team, why should you still go for it, right? Why should you still? Well, first of all, you still go for it because look at this season, right? Where, again, either the Knicks or the Heat. I mean, there were people in the Heat fan base that wanted them to tank, and there were certainly people before the year and early in the year that wanted the Knicks to tank. One of these teams is going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, and once you're in the Eastern Conference Finals, I mean, or any conference finals, you never know what's going to happen. So, lots of reasons to want to get into the playoffs. But in addition to just getting your younger players experience, which is what most people cite as like the reason you want to try to get in these things, is it reveals a lot. And I think Quentin Grimes did not have a good start to this postseason in terms of shooting the ball. Had some iffy moments. Certainly had some iffy moments at the beginning of game 4. For him to come through with a performance like this says a lot. That says a lot. That says, like, this is a guy you want in this uniform for a long time. And we're getting a lot of those revelations in this postseason. Good stuff. Robert Cross with another one. 53 wins, all you all. Don't stop believing. See you in New York for Game 7. Hashtag 53 wins. I'm happy to hear Robert's excited because I know he was down in the dumps the last couple of days after Game 4. Not that I could blame him, but because I was down a little bit too. Meet Maravich. What's going on, Meet? RJ Barrett is winning basketball games in May. Damn right he is. A lot of RJ love today, which I appreciate. He wasn't the headliner of this game, but sure as shit don't win the game without him. Kevin Danishevsky, what's going on, Kev? There we freaking go. Watched it with my dad, who just came off heart surgery. Love that it was a New York effort. Say what you will, what a team this is. That awesome stuff, Kev. Shout out to you. Shout out to your dad. Shout out to your whole family. Glad your dad's doing well. I don't know if I would have advised watching this game coming off of heart surgery. But God bless. And really, really cool. Deadwood 604. I raise my glass to you, Mr. Robert Cross. 53 wins. Hashtag 53 wins. We all raise our glass to Robert Cross. Dan Hidalgo. What's going on, Dan? Needed that emotionally. I think we needed it. Speaking for myself, I definitely needed it. Man, that's the other thing I've been thinking about a lot the last few days is like how after this great season and after that great first round playoff win, and even after just winning game 2, like how just a couple of games can make you sink so low. I mean, that's sports fandom for you, right? That's sports fandom. It's just there's nothing else like it. Anyway, now we could spin this as a young team learning to win in the playoffs. Would have been a dark way to go out. Yeah, like look again. Whatever happens in Game 6, I mean, you don't want to get blown out or anything, but like whatever happens in Game 6, you lost at 6 to a Heat team that, like, again, I hope at the very least the conversation surrounding this Heat team is, continue. They're an anomaly. They don't need to win regular season games to know that they could do it in the playoffs. And like something that I don't think has been brought up a ton. I know it was the bubble. I know nobody counts anything in the bubble, but like they made it to the finals as a 5th seed. Like that doesn't happen a ton. And they did that. So it's not like they've never done this before. Thanks, Dan. Jason M, what's going on, Jason? The Robert Cross win, hashtag 53 wins. Let's go, Knicks. Love it. Anthony Sixto, you want Hart? It's Grimes locking, stripping Butler on one leg. It's Randle bouncing back after an awful start, karate chop to the eye. It's Mitch hitting free throws when being dared, and it's Jalen dropping almost 40. Let's freaking go. You need it again. They needed it. We needed it. Prove it to us. Prove it what the mettle of this team is. They proved it to us. Jesse M. Julius got to be better with all that love target practice threes. Say this. Knicks got a little lucky early. The Heat started this game 3-19 from 3. It was a funny moment, though. We were watching on the couch before my daughter fell asleep on the couch. We were watching with my wife, and my wife is like, man, the Heat are really not making a lot of threes. But then she caught herself, and she's like, but you know what? Neither of the Knicks been making a lot of threes this entire series. And then I was like, exactly. That's why I don't feel bad. And it was when the Knicks were up big in the third quarter. And then my daughter just was like, I don't feel bad for them either. They're losing by 18 points. And I was like, that's great. I don't know what I did to train this girl so well, but I did something right. Anyway, Jesse, thank you. Hamdi M. Oh my God. This guy. Hamdi, I was already sweating because it's hot in here and I don't have the air conditioner on. You're going to make me really sweat now. Thank you for the extraordinarily generous contribution, which I should read your comment. Hashtag 53 wins. What can you say? This team won 53 games. Unbelievable. Hayden Freed, hashtag 53 wins. I'm 22. Are heart palpitations normal? This team is not for the faint of heart at all season long. I mean, it was, I'll say this. It was brought back. We haven't had one of these sorts of games in a while, I feel like. When's the last time we've had a game where they were up essentially by 20 or about around 20, so more than 15, and they've let it get down to a one-possession game? I'm trying to think when's the last time it's happened, and then they've actually won the game. I feel like it's been a while. Certainly had a lot of them through the year, though. Sam Garcia, Brunson, and Grimes are both 16-game players. I mean, Brunson is, Jesus. Brunson's special. Grimes, he can play for my team any day. And, I wonder, I know Tibbs has compared Josh Hart in terms of, when he scouted Josh Hart coming out of college, he reminded him of Jimmy Butler. There aren't many guys that Tibbs has played this many minutes in a playoff game. And I kind of want to go back and look. I don't think he played anybody before tonight. I don't think he played anybody in this playoffs 48 minutes. Andrew, I don't know if you want to fact check that for me. I feel like the last player Tibbs played 48 minutes in the playoff game was probably Jimmy. But yeah, so that's kind of cool, I think.
What's the fact check? What do you mean to look up?
When's the last time Tom Thibodeau had a player play 48 minutes in a regulation playoff game?
Well, definitely wasn't this playoffs because this was the first time a Nick played. So I'll go back and look.
I think I know am 99% certain that Jimmy Butler played at least one 48-minute game in their that series against the Heat, the Nate Robinson series. But I'm not sure if he's had anybody play 48 since then. But so that's, again, it's pretty cool. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it. Paul DeSantis, what's going on, Paul? Live to fight another day. Love the hustle, the heart, and the belief. Hashtag Knicks in 7. Hashtag 53 wins. Man, if they ever won the series in 7 games. I don't know what the hell I do with myself. Hush Zoo with another one. 1 game at a time. Hopefully IQ is healthy. I don't know if Brunson Grimes can sustain 48 minutes a game. LOL. Thank God for Brunson, though. Should have been All-NBA. Oh, well, we mentioned Julius got All-NBA. So for anybody who doesn't know, Jalen Brunson finished 9th in the voting. I don't have it in front of me. I'm going to do this off the top of my head. I think the guards were Luka, SGA, first team. Donovan, I know, got second team, and I don't think he was happy about it. And then was it Dame second team, Andrew? Did you happen to see that?
Looking it up now.
Looking it up now. And then I want to say it was Steph and De'Aaron Fox third team. I may have gotten some of that wrong.
Steph and Donovan Mitchell made second team. Then De'Aaron Fox and Dame made third team.
Oh, so I got Dame and Steph mixed up. So Dame ended up making third team.
Right.
I know Drew Holiday. Someone else finished with more votes than Brunson. There was one other guard that finished with more votes than Brunson. It was Holiday, it was one other player, and then it was Brunson. So he finished 9th in the guard voting. I'd have had him ahead of Drew Holiday myself. That's just me. I'm trying to.
I'll look it up. I'll get
look it up. Yeah, who the other guard was, because I think I actually am going to push back on this because I don't think it's a regular season award. I think De'Aaron Fox deserved to be on the team more than Brunson. Now, the Dame and Steph part is so difficult because, as you guys know, I'm a huge games played guy when it comes to this stuff. Like, I'm such a big games played guy. And yet, Dame, there was XJ, for instance, thinks that Damian Lillard was the best offensive player in the sport this year. And Steph is right there too. So those guys, they did not play a ton of games. I get that. But what they did in the games that they played was, just absolutely extraordinary. Oh, John Morant. John Morant was the other guy that finished ahead of him. Yeah, I'd have put Brunson ahead of Morant too. So I think I'd have, unless you're now, if the rules were different this year, if the NBA was going with the rules that are going to be instituted for the next CBA, where you have to play at least 65 games to qualify. Brunson actually, I think, might have made it. So, look, I think he's going to make an All-NBA team, or at least one moving forward. He's good enough. Drew P, love their heart. Mitchell Robinson, free throws. Julius Randle, steal. Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, and RJ. Yeah, I like all them too. Thanks, Drew. Harry Donert. It's 2 numbers. 53. The only 2 numbers that matter. Thanks, Harry. Appreciate you, man. Kevin Wilson. The disappointing thing about this series was how the Knicks seemed to completely roll over. I'm glad they didn't go down without a fight. Yeah, look, again, Game 3 was ugly. Game 3 was bad. Game 3 was ugly. Game 3 was, again, you didn't like the effort in Game 3 at all. It was also a abhorrent shooting game for this team. Game 4, I don't think they rolled over in Game 4. I think it was a really bad fourth quarter performance for them in Game 4. And if you can't tell me that a team that was down by whatever they were down by at halftime in Game 4, and they came out and they really executed better than they have all postseason in that third quarter. You can't tell me that they laid down. It really is just one game. They had one really bad playoff game against Miami. It was Game 3. It happens. Janky AF. What's going on, Janky? My friends who know I'm a Knicks fan have started tuning in. They call Randle Big Randy, and now I can't stop saying it. Go Knicks, go KFS, diapers on. This team makes you wear diapers. Man. I was on the store the other day, and I walked past the aisle. It was in like CVS, and I walked past the aisle with the adult diapers in it, and I noticed like they have like the person advertising the item on the front of the packaging. And it's like this big dude like standing there. He's so proud of himself in his in his thing, and I'm like, I don't know if I could be a poster person for an adult diaper. I would have qualms about that, but good for those people. What? You're looking at me funny, Andrew.
Telling adult diaper stories on the pod.
I thought I'd share. I thought it was funny.
You're in your. I'm not gonna say it. You're gonna get mad at me.
I'm in my adult diapers phase almost.
You're in your 40s, so there's.
I'm in my 40s. My God,
that's something to consider.
Hannibal Miles, what's going on, Hannibal? The Knicks have played this streak game all season. Can we win 2 more in a row? I think they can. They're good enough. Like, they're good enough to beat this team. They have to play. Look, it's credit to the Heat for playing up to their capabilities. That's all the Heat have done this series. They've played up to their capabilities. Are they the best team left in the postseason? Are they the second best team? Are they the fifth best team? Or the eighth best? Like, when a team consistently and methodically plays up to its abilities and does not defeat itself at all and just waits for the other team to make mistakes and forces the other team to make a lot of those mistakes, like, how do you judge them? You can't just judge them on their talent. It's unfair to just judge them on their talent. You have to, like, that's why it's like to say, like, the Knicks are the better team or the Heat are the better team. It's just so vague. But are the Knicks, if the Knicks play up to their capabilities, do I think that they could beat the Heat 2 more games? Absolutely they can. If they play up to their capabilities, we've seen the Knicks play up to their capabilities for, like, I don't know, there's been 20 quarters in this series. How many of those quarters have the Knicks played fully up to their capabilities out of 20? I don't know, 5? 4, 5, 6, maybe? And again, credit to the Heat for what they're doing to throw the Knicks off their game. And it's like, but yeah, if the Knicks play their game, man, series isn't over. Thanks, Hannibal. Deadword 604 with another one. JB was the star, but how about Quentin Grimes? Oh, and see what happens when you hit your open shots. No longer can they clog the lane with 5 guys, so you draw their guys outside. Then it opens up for better rebound opportunities down low. It does. That's very true. I will say they did. I thought they made the Knicks' life more difficult in the fourth quarter when they were playing a much more aggressive style of defense, and they were essentially doubling Brunson up top. Now, when they doubled Brunson up top, like, Brunson would get the ball out, but that's a situation where it's like, okay, you got to have Hartenstein in the game. It's almost essential to have Hartenstein in the game in those situations as like an outlet. But even that, like, it's dicey because who are Brunson's outlets, right? And it's like, it's Randle, it's RJ, and like, those guys make good plays sometimes, but those guys are also a little inconsistent. Like, RJ got a little frazzled a couple of those times where he ended up with the ball when they were really going hard at Brunson. And obviously, Randle, I thought made the play under the basket where he didn't go up was baffling. But there was another time where I thought he made an absolutely outstanding kick out to somebody. I'm fairly certain it was in the fourth quarter. I wish I had written it down. I can't find it right now. But yeah, it's just like Grimes helps, but it's also, he's not quite the full elixir yet. Like, other guys need to hold up their end of the bargain as well. Haitian Ferg, what's going on, Haitian? Crazy how we look when our mid-3 play well. Crazy how we look when we make shots. And again, yes, make shots. 38%. They made 13 to 34 tonight. Like, that's just average. Or it's a little above average for them. But, like, that's, like, not 13 to 34. That's like a normal NBA night, you know? So it's not even like they did anything crazy. Also, by the way, missed 11 free throws tonight. Still got to clean up the defensive glass. Yes. And the turnovers. Yes. How many times did they end up? I mean, they turned it over. There was a tweet that I saved. It was from Cooper Moorhead. First quarter alone, Heat scored 13 second chance points in that quarter because they had, I think, 7 offensive rebounds. Abhorrent. And then 4 steals. And they got 12 points off of turnovers. The Heat did in the first quarter. So, again, first quarter, Heat got 12 points off of turnovers. For the game, well, they ended up with, actually, Jesus Christ. They ended up with 29 points off of 19 Knicks turnovers. Okay. I didn't realize it had gotten that bad. They had cleaned it up at some point. Like, it got better in the second quarter. It must have gotten worse in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Maybe not the third quarter, but definitely towards the end of the game. The fact that the Knicks won a game in which they had 19 turnovers and the Heat scored 29 points off of those 19 turnovers, and the Knicks only generated 5 points off of 12 Heat turnovers, and those teams made the same amount of three-pointers, man. Those two numbers alone, and the fact that the rebound, like the Knicks out defensive rebounded Miami big time, 36 to 23. The offensive rebounding margin wasn't even that great. Knicks were, man, the Knicks were not lucky to win this game, but like those sorts of numbers, again, turnovers, offensive rebounds, and then free throws was where it was the big advantage. The Knicks got to the line 40 times. The Heat got to the line 19 times. That's really the big one. But if it wasn't for the free throw discrepancy, we might be talking about a different result.
Do you want the full quarter-by-quarter breakdown with turnovers real quick?
Yeah, sure. It was 7 in the first quarter right now.
7 in the first quarter. I'm just going to read off the third and the fourth quarter because the third quarter, they had 7.
The Knicks had 7 turnovers in the third?
Yep. Maybe a bunch down the stretch, like after they...
It had to be a bunch down the stretch after they took that big lead, yeah.
And then 3 in the fourth quarter. Now, the second quarter, they had 1.
So it went 7-1... 7-3.
Yes.
All right, so we're still short 1. There might have been 1 somewhere else, but like, okay, that makes sense. That's 7 turnovers in the third quarter. You know what? I wrote it down actually. The Heat ended in the last 5 minutes of the third quarter. The Heat outscored the Knicks 20-11. So like the Knicks were like this from the beginning of the second till the middle of the third. The Knicks absolutely destroyed the Heat, but from the middle of the second on, or middle of the third on, the Heat really took control. Thanks, Asian. Cactus Shack. Oh, I remember this guy. Hey, J-Mac, first time, long time. Is it fair and reasonable to say that Grimes is tougher than $2 gas station steak? I've never had $2 gas station steak, so I can't speak to that. The only food that I've ever gotten at a gas station that was memorable was like I once got a Cheeto pie at a gas station. It was quite good. Hashtag 53 wins. Hashtag game ball Mitch bitch. Okay, giddy up. Appropriate from Cactus Shack to give the game ball to Mitch. Jeremy Chase. What's going on, Jeremy? How are you? That Grimes swipe was one of the gutsiest plays I've ever seen from a Knick. Also, Mitch hit his free throws. Last, Spo is a great coach, but has a truly punchable face. He does. He does. Grayson Allen level onto South Beach. Yeah, but he's so freaking good, man. He's so good. And to think that there were Heat fans who were like out on Spo earlier this year. Thank God I don't do this for the Heat. If I did this for the Heat, like you see how I defend Tom Thibodeau, who's like a good coach, but also like maddening and absolutely deserves questioning. If I was doing this for like Heat games and like anybody ever had the audacity to like say anything bad about Eric Spoelstra, I'd lose my shit. Anyway, Hank Hootenbaus, hashtag 53 wins. Thank you, Hank. Appreciate you. Jessica, what's going on, Jessica? I have to say publicly, Jessica sent me one of the kindest, most thoughtful messages earlier today that like legitimately had me tearing up. So I will just say publicly thank you for that. Absolutely made my day. I'll read your comment now. Happy birthday, John. The prophecy of hashtag 53 wins has been fulfilled. Thank you for being the face and the heart of KFS. I don't know about that. We're all the heart of KFS. Every one of us, including you, is the heart of KFS. This freaking team. Let's go Knicks. Knicks in 7. You never gave up. You never gave up hope, Jessica. You gave that impassioned speech at halftime of Game 4. You were a couple days early, but it paid off. It translated. Kevin Danishevsky, happy birthday, John. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. You're the best. Speaking of best, we got to 53 wins and officially have the most playoff wins since, drumroll please, 99-2000. Yeah, well, tied, right? We're tied. Because we tied with the 2013 team because they had 6 playoff wins as well. And now we got 6, which is great. Jalen Brunson is creeping into the top 20 best Knicks ever. We're not there yet.
Kevin, you got to understand how this works. You need things to happen before you give the take, my man.
Well, okay. Here's the discussions, right? The discussion is this the greatest first season in Knicks history? Or what? It's the greatest first season for a Knicks since. So I think a couple things. What?
Are you taking out like drafted rookie seasons?
Yeah, well, no, your first season as a Knick.
So not
whether
like
you were a rookie or
okay. So Ewing's Rookie of the Year campaign, Mark Jackson's Rookie of the Year campaign.
Okay, I think Brunson was. I mean, all due respect to Patrick Ewing, was a rookie.
Better. I'm just saying the candidates. I'm saying the candidates.
Melo's tough because he came here in the middle of the year. So like, how do you grade that? And even honestly, his second year here was 2000. Was the Linsanity year, right?
The Linsanity year, where everybody. Yeah, this is better than that.
Stoudemire would have been if we just stopped paying attention after his first 50 games. Thanks again, Mike D'Antoni. Brunson's better than that. So then we have to go back to. It's tough because I mean, man, is this the greatest first season as a Knick in Knick history?
Is it arguable?
Like Walt Frazier didn't play a lot as a rookie. Like David DeBusschere was. I mean, all these guys were rookies. Willis Reed's rookie year. I'm sure he won Rookie of the Year. I'm sure he was freaking awesome.
Go look up Bernard.
Bernard. It was his second year where really. I wasn't around for this, but I'm pretty sure I know this one.
It's his second and his third year that really take off. Yeah,
he didn't even make the All-Star team his first year as a Knick, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, not that Brunson did either.
21.9 points per game his first year, but yeah, the second year it was 26 a game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists on 57% shooting, and then he won the scoring title in his third year, 85.
And like.
That's the year he went toe-to-toe with Larry Bird.
Yeah, and like guys put up numbers like Bob McAdoo. Like, Bob McAdoo, talking about a literal MVP. Dude put up some numbers his first year, but he was also a midseason trade, so that kind of complicates it as well. But like, it didn't really lead to winning. Yeah,
I'll give it to him. That is a perfect, rational, historical context. Considered take about Jalen Brunson. Best first season as a New York Knick.
Let me just say this. I will say this. I did the top 75 Knicks last season for the 75th anniversary, right? Like there's a very clear top 20, 25. I think there's a clear even like top 50, 60. When I was filling out those last 15 spots, like I remember one day I was like, do I need to consider like Marcus Morris for 50, however many games he was here? Put up 19 points. No, I mean, I'm being a little.
But that's
facetious,
the thing. Like, yeah.
It was like I looked seriously, and I took that exercise, again, very seriously. So like the fact that Brunson has had, I mean, he's absolutely one of the top 75 ever after just 1 year. Is there an argument he's in the top 50? That's more. We could maybe have that discussion. How about this? How about we watch him for another few years?
That's why the better take is like he's going to be a top 20 Nick. Like I understand creeping up into top 20 best ever. I think when it's all said and done, this guy's headed for like top 10 ever, top 8 ever. Like I think he's a guy you build around. He's a guy guys are gonna want to come play with. Like the grit he showed tonight, man. I can't get over it. 48 minutes. Played the entire game. They were targeting him the entire game. Gabe Vincent's picking him up when he gets the ball inbounded to him, and he still gets 38 points efficiently. Like, these are legendary performances.
It's the only appropriate word for it. No, the top 20 conversation that gets interesting after this year, and it again, how Friday goes matters.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. No, because Randle's right there. He just has to be.
Two Knicks this century have made an All-NBA team twice: Carmelo Anthony and Julius Randle.
Yeah. So good stuff, Kev. Jaso Focus, what's going on, Ja? Hashtag 53 wins secured. Game 5 wasn't the last one, or the hashtag last one. Julius Redemption Tour still alive. Mitch, Star J, Brunson. 2 down, 2 to go. Let's freaking go. Hashtag last one for real. Last one for real? Last one Friday? I don't know what the FR stands for.
For real. It is for real. Because this is Ja's bit. Like, all right, last one.
Last one for real. That's it. Yeah. Sorry, it's been a long day. And I was up early. Jibo, thank you, Lord, for Brunson. RJ, second best player. Rob, 53. Good comment. Ant C. What's going on, Ant C? Hashtag 53 wins. Happy we could avoid the bad vibes of going out 4-1. That wouldn't have been good. Wouldn't have been good. Despite everything, I love my Knicks and I love KFS. Thank you so much. 3 fun years of watching for me and counting. That makes me so happy, Ant. Just glad we could be here for you guys, for you, for everybody. And to have this season, think about it. We're sitting here again. We'll see what happens, but like, I could sit here and I could be like, if we win the next game, we will play a game with the Eastern Conference Finals on the line. I could say that sentence out loud. And for as disappointing in this series as this series has maybe been, when you consider where this team was a few years ago, it's pretty cool. Thanks, Ant. Jalen Larry, what's going on, Jalen? First time, long time. Obviously needed the win, but so proud of those guys. Fought today and looking forward to Friday. I'm sure they're looking forward to Friday as well. I hope Jalen Brunson does nothing but sleep for the next 4 days. Happy birthday, John. Thanks, KFS. Thank you, Jalen. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate very much so. Thank you. Hush Zoo. I don't like how we play our defense on Strus and Robinson. Watching our team collapse constantly on Lowry, driving in to a simple kick out kills us. Again, I'll steal Benji's point. Lowry's not the guy you need to go crazy for when he's driving. He doesn't want to shoot. So I think this is a good point. It's in there. That's the thing is it's like, and that's, I don't know, is that great coaching when you have a team that could just change that could flip its DNA in the middle of a postseason? Because their DNA is always, all year long, ever since Thibodeau became the coach, collapse the paint. And yeah, stuff. Dan Hidalgo, Star J Barrett, huge for us moving forward. I'm loving the Star J love. He deserves it. He was awesome tonight. He's been awesome in this series. He's been awesome for these playoffs. I believe this should be our new bit. Statistical update is, did RJ Barrett put himself over 20 points per game scoring for the playoffs with this game? And the answer to that question is yes. He's averaging 20.1 points per game. He's 30th in playoff scoring as of right now. Meanwhile, another gentleman by the name of Jalen Brunson is averaging now 26.5 points per game. Can I just quickly read the 10 players who are averaging more points per game in this postseason than Jalen Brunson? From the bottom up. Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox, Trae Young, Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic, Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, only in 2 games, though, Devin Booker. Of those, the only ones who made the second round are Brunson, Tatum, Durant, Jokic, Curry, Butler, Devin Booker. So you got a bunch of MVPs and a bunch of all-NBA first-team caliber guys. That's the company we're talking about here. Richard, not tonight. Not in my damn house. I love this comment. Thank you so much, Richard. Appreciate it. Happy you were able to watch it, enjoy it, and then you're feeling good and you're healthy. Frank Miranda. What's up, Mac? It's your boy Frank from Patreon. Let's freaking go. We are seeing the ascension of a superstar in Jalen Brunson in real time. I'm sorry. Tibbs starting Hart over Grimes was a bad decision. Chemistry is fragile. It was a bad decision. And, like, look, you go back and you look and you ask yourself, would it have made the difference in game 3? Would it have made the difference in game 1? And I'm even going to go so far as to say, would it have made the difference in game 4? And here's what I mean by that. If you never change it, right? And like the moment Grimes is back healthy, you start him. Now, game 1, he only played 10 minutes. I think there was a thought at the time, and I think it's a fair thought and a valid thought that, like, maybe he wasn't all the way back. So, like, do you give him a pass for game 1? Maybe. I also thought Hart was really, really good in game 1. All that being said, like, if you just put Grimes back in the starting lineup the moment he was back healthy enough to play, and you get him back into a rhythm and like the whole thing, you know, you never know. You never know. It is absolutely a decision that was worthy of criticism in the moment, is worthy of criticism in retrospect. I mean, look at tonight. Like, again, it's only one game, but like Grimes 48 minutes, Josh Hart played like 9 minutes. Like, again, talk about things we didn't think we'd see a week ago. But it's the playoffs. Thank you, Frank. Hush Zoo with another one. Overall, great game by everyone. I hope they clean some stuff up. Let's share some crow on RJ. No, man, this is all mine. Extend Grimes. Well, they can't extend them yet. They got to wait another year. Randle is still on fraud watch. Brunson is God. Yes, Brunson is indeed God. Hello. Thanks, Hush. Let's see, make him peck at the mic. D Zilla, what's going on, D? RJ with the Kobe assist. Yes, it was a legit Kobe assist, although I thought Jim Jackson was wise to point out on the broadcast at the time that Butler didn't really need to come over and help. I think it was Butler, right? That was, I don't know. I think Butler was on it, or was it Bam? I think it was Butler. Anyway, the Kobe assist and clutch free throws. him doing legendary shit. Hack and Mitch is definitely not a thing. It is not anymore. Illegal Bam screams and one working leg couldn't stop Grimes from getting that steal. Let's freaking go. Hashtag 53 wins. I love it. Thank you, D. Appreciate it. Jesse D, a legendary Knicks performance from Jalen. I'm so happy everybody is like in unison praising this performance for what it was, which is, again, one of the all-time great New York Knicks playoff performances. Whatever happens Friday, I'll never forget this one. I don't think any of us will forget this one. And again, like, the series is going to end however it's going to end. He's had so many moments that just, like, I pre-wrote, because I want to take a little bit of time off after the season's over. I pre-wrote a 2-part column in which I did the thing that I've been promising that I'm going to do, which is rank the top 10 games of the year. But I did it in a way that was like, I didn't just like picked like the top 10 wins. I picked like the 10 most significant games of the year. It's a very long-winded way of getting to my point, which is one game that I considered and I did not ultimately put in the list, but it certainly deserves honorable mention, is remember way early on in the season when they played the Hornets? And I know the Hornets stink and stunk at the time, and like LaMelo Ball was out and like the whole thing. But that game was the fourth game of the year. So they lost at Memphis, then they beat Detroit at home, they beat Orlando at home. That Charlotte game, I'm pretty sure that game went to overtime. And it was a much closer game than it had any right to be. Yes, it was game 4. There you go. Thank you, Andrew. And Jalen Brunson in that game put the team on his freaking back, and he just took them home. And like we knew, like we already kind of knew, but we like that was like the first time it was like, whoa, okay, I get it now, like fully. And it's just been moment after moment after moment for this guy ever since. And you know, he's on our team. He's on our team. How cool is that? Will Oliver, what's going on, Will? Obi in the second quarter, Grimes in the fourth changed the dynamic. Yeah, I mean, you need your whole team. You need your whole team. Brian Lest, what's going on, Brian? Compare this to the vibes of Game 5 versus Atlanta. I was at Game 5 versus Atlanta. I remember that very well. It was not fun. This team's a lot better than that. Regardless of how this series ends, the growth is undeniable. It's just such a better team. The team is arriving right before our eyes. Yeah, and like again, think about this. They did this tonight. Let's not discount. I know the Heat are missing Tyler Hero. I know the Heat are missing Victor Oladipo. I know he wasn't great in the postseason so far, but like the Knicks didn't have Emmanuel Quickly tonight. That matters. And for other young guys to step up and be big in big moments, Grimes, Obi, you just can't say enough about them. Charlie Boy Third, what's going on, Charlie Boy Third? Hey, John, happy with the win, but fuming that Miami gets away with the screens. Every single one is illegal, and it contributes to our defensive breakdowns. So frustrating. Let's win on Friday. Hashtag 54 wins. We may have to get hashtag 54 wins trending here. I had never look. They do it. You hear that they do it. I had never realized just how egregious it is, and to the point where, like, I'm not saying the NBA has to rewrite its rule book, but like, I just don't understand how some of this stuff could be allowed. Like, I kind of want to go and like read what is a referee supposed to look for in terms of a moving screen versus not a moving screen? Because my rudimentary mind can't see the difference between moving screens and what the Heat do. I don't know. I'm sure there's an explanation, but I don't know it. Varun, what's going on, Varun? What a win. We are not the Cavs, and we will not go away quietly. No, we are not the Cavs. We are not the Cavs. Cavs have been in Cancun for a couple weeks now, as it were. Kyle Turner, what's going on, Kyle? Knicks got to be smarter down the stretch. I mean, 100%. But again, it's young team. Young team, still growing, still learning, still adjusting, still figuring out how to be present fully in this moment. It's all part of the process. Miami will not beat themselves. No, they will not. That's what I was saying earlier. The Knicks got to take games from them. Happy about the win, but saw so much to be cleaned up if they want to win this series. I mean, that's the whole series. It's the whole freaking series. The whole series is all the things the Knicks need to clean up. It's the whole freaking series. And yeah. Chris Carter, what's going on, Chris? What do we say to the God of Death? Not today. Cheers, John. Yeah, not today, but that's a good quote. What do we say to the God of death? Not today. Zach, what's going on, Zach? Zach Horowitz playing with house money on Friday. Well, I think it's, should the Knicks have been down 3-1? I don't know. I'll say this was a big win. This was an important win. I wonder how much pressure they're feeling, because they're the higher seeded team. They were favored. It's interesting. I hadn't thought about that until right now. Like, are they really playing with house money? I don't know. You might be right. Maybe they are playing with house money. I don't know that will they feel that way? They might feel that way. I don't know about that, though. We'll see. Heat are going to sweat? Well, maybe. One more night of scaring my cats and insulting strangers on Twitter. Don't go on Twitter. Why would you do that? Brunson and Quentin Grimes, bell to bell, New York legends. RJ had some Jimmy's daddy moments. Knicks Film School for life. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it, man. Claudio Santos, what's going on, Claudio? Complicated legacy indeed, but Randle made me proud today. Best playoff game ever for him. I don't know that we could say that with the first quarter as being part of the performance tonight. The first quarter was really bad. I would say his best playoff game ever was probably game 2 in this series, I think. Because he shot it really well. He played hard. Yeah. Bill Peter friend, huge win. Let's get it back to the Garden now. I hope Grimes is okay. Oh my God. Mitch was interviewed about when the Heat intentionally fouled him, and it looks like he gave some choice quotes. Mitch's facial expressions are the best. Yeah, Bill, I hope Grimes. We didn't even mention Grimes on the personal injury report. Probably should have. I mean, you hope his ankle's okay. Hamdy M with another one. Happy birthday, John. All I can tell you is that life gets better after 40. Appreciate you, bro. Hamdy, I mean, to say that I appreciate you, it makes it a lot easier to justify doing this stuff when people are as generous as you are, and everybody is obviously on here. So, thank you. And as far as life getting better after 40, I mean, today's been great. I'm excited for my 40s. I feel like my 30s just, I screwed. I wasted a lot of time in my 20s. I mean, I'm doing stuff, but I also was like just figuring stuff out and putting one false start after another, and like kind of got things in a certain place in my 30s. And feel like for the last 10 years, it's just been putting my head down and just like blinders on and like, okay, just go. Like, what's literally the last 10 years of my life? I feel like it's been like, okay, what is the next task? Complete the next task. And then once that is completed, what is the next task after that? And, I'm excited for maybe in my 40s a little bit, having like, I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. JB said something to me a few years ago. He's like, I try to make a commitment to read for like a half an hour a day. And I was like, man, that's so admirable. I maybe that should be my goal for my 40s, is to try to like find, I don't know if I could do a half an hour a day. I don't know. I don't have a half an hour. I don't know, 5 minutes of free time a day, but like maybe like 20 minutes every 3 days. Maybe that should be my goal for my 40s. Take 20 minutes of free time every 3 days to do, just relax. Getting emotional now. David Crockett, what's going on, David? You have to play through the mistakes and fear and make enough plays to get to the other side. Indeed. You so much love for Quentin Grimes for embodying that tonight, and to Julius for taking a back seat in the fourth. I was thinking about that too, and I'm glad you said it. And I mentioned this earlier in the postseason when I was praising Julius for another instance in which he took a back seat willingly. He did it again tonight. Credit to him for that. Absolutely. Jaheed Brown. Hey, John, happy 40th. Thank you. What are your thoughts on Grimes' off-season work? What skills should he add? What's his ceiling? Well, the thing about Quentin Grimes, one, and I'm a little biased because I've spoken to one of the people who he trains with and has been training with for quite a long time. Shout out Perk Performance. I hope he's watching. I know he puts in the work, and I know last summer he made a commitment to improve, the drive and kick game, becoming more than just like a stationary 3-point shooter. And again, it's in the DNA because he was a combo guard coming up, So it was just kind of reactivating that, or honing it to be able to use it at this level. And so moving forward, I would say I think at times he got a little drive happy as opposed to, and again, this is not what I do. So I mean, I'm talking out of my ass here, but like catch the ball and like he would immediately think drive, maybe a little bit more than he needed to as the year went on. And so because guys were really, paying a lot of attention to him and coming at him pretty fast and the whole thing. So he kind of got used to that, doing that. But like, can he develop into a little bit more of a movement shooter? Is that in the cards? Maybe. I know his splits in terms of it's like the left side of the court versus the right side of the court. I know the splits are pretty severe, so maybe evening that out is something else that he could work on. I mean, he's a great finisher. I think he's a great passer around the basket. Eventually you'd love to see him get a little mid-range game. I just think all of the different ways that he can make himself the closest thing to Klay Thompson imaginable. That's the goal, right? That's what you want. You want a Klay Thompson clone. I trust him, man. I trust him, and I trust his people around him too. Peter Gaffney, what's going on, Peter? How are you, man? Long time no talk. Hope all is well. Brunson is God. Macri's 40. Yes. Yes. The Knicks are alive. It's a good day. Now let's steal one of Miami like they stole Game 6 in Indiana in 94. Great work, John. Thank you so much. Yeah, what was that? Was that See You Sunday, I think. I do remember that. Now that was in the Eastern Conference Finals. That team had been through some more battles than this one. But that would be cool. I wouldn't mind stealing one. Appreciate you, Peter. Claudio Santos with another one. Thank you, Claudio. Love to see Grimes stealing the ball after ball from Butler. The kid makes mistakes, but he has huge heart. That's the thing, right? It's like with a young player on this stage, you don't mind the mistakes. The mistakes are frustrating, but that's why you give young players this stage. Even though they're young and even though they're going to make mistakes, you have to trust that it is going to pay off. And even if it doesn't pay off this year, it'll pay off in the long run. And the fact that Grimes has given you what Grimes has given you, that says so much about him. And it should say so much to the front office about how willing they are to really just do what they did last summer, which is value him not for maybe what he is today, but what he's going to be in a year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. He should be a part of your foundation. And I think he will be, by the way. Greg Film Stuff. What's going on, Greg? Happy birthday, Mac. Thank you so much. Is the Grimes steal the play of the game? It's the play of the season, honestly, for me. Why is Randle such an emo roller coaster? Man, if I had the answer to that, I'd be a very wealthy man. Should we just give Brunson the keys to the city now? The answer is yes. And why do we leave Duncan open time after time? We needed one and we got it. Again, that's just credit to the Heat. Trust me, the Knicks are not game planning to leave Duncan Robinson open. I guarantee you. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. As always. Tyler Michaels. What's going on, Tyler? Man, Quentin Grimes just talking about the steal. I just retweeted it. John, happy birthday. Thank you. I know you're humble. I'm yeah, I guess. But you're really great at this stuff. I have a microphone and I talk into it, but I appreciate that. Everyone in this chat would agree with me. Again, Robert nailed it. Most people in the KFS community like you. Anyway, this was a character win. Thank you for all that, Tyler. Seriously. This was a character win, and no matter what the result of Game 6, I'm proud of this team. I need everybody to keep that same energy for Game 6. No matter what, right? No matter what, let's be proud of this team. Just go out and fight hard and play hard. That's all. That's all we want to see. Go out, fight hard. And nobody's going to take back anything that they said. Nolan Eritano, what's going on, Nolan? Brunson, yes. Trade Randle, not tonight. RJ matching salary, nope. And hashtag let's freaking go Knicks. Yes. Robert Cross, it's your boy John. We are taking this game to 7. I hope so. We are taking this game to 7. I think you meant we are taking this to Game 7. I think you mixed up your words there, Robert. Do you know what? Do you want to know why? Mensa and I are going to the game. Hashtag 53 wins. You're going to the game in Miami. Man, I hope they win because I would hate for you to be.
No, he's saying if
they're going to the
7,
game in New York.
He'll come home and go to Game 7 with Mensa, is what he's saying.
If they win in Game 6.
Yeah, so that's why he's saying this is going 7, because when it does in Robert's world, he and Mensa are going to Game 7.
I mean, that'd be cool.
Braver man than me. Not even thinking about Game 7 right now.
I'm not. Let's go to Friday. Lunas, what's going on, Lunas? I'm ready to start having the discussion of how many players I'd rather have than Brunson for a playoff series. Also, this RJ leap is beautiful. Future star. Man. It's a short list. It's a short list. I don't know. Is it 10 players long? Is it 15 players long? I mean, it's not a long list. Especially when you consider, like, again, it has to be said. Like Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. Those guys are both, I mean, obviously Kawhi Leonard's he's a top 5. He might be the guy, he might be number 1 or number 2 or number 3 on your list of like guys you most want out there for a playoff series, but like played 2 playoff games, and he's missed playoff games left and right for years now. It's like, I think when you're having these sorts of discussions, you have to consider the fact that Jalen Brunson just went out there and played 48 minutes and scored 38 points on a bum ankle. And he's not talking about it, and it can't be officially reported, but like, go and look at Ian Begley's reporting over the last week. Brunson's hurt, he's not right. He's not fully healthy. So, when you have these players out there who they can't make it through a postseason or to a postseason, and then you got this guy who's doing this, he needs to be in that discussion in the top 10 or 15, because of the consistency, because of the drive, the relentlessness. Like, we're going to come out of these playoffs whenever they end with questions, valid questions about different players and things and what have you. Ain't going to be no questions about Jalen Brunson. 0. Brian with another one. Thank you, Brian. J-Mac, happy birthday. Thank you. I've said it before, but your efforts on here during the long New York winter helps former New Yorkers like me feel like home. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers to 40, bud. Yeah, it's here. I'll raise a glass to you. Thank you. Egregious turnover just now by D'Angelo Russell. Sorry, I got I've had the Laker game on. I haven't really paid attention to it, but Warriors seem like they have this one in hand, and Lakers still they keep fighting. Anyway, Kane Marco, Take Mob General. I love this team. I love this channel. Thank you. Happy MFing birthday. We hit 53. On to 63. 63 would be nice. So what are we going to need to like win the championship? Because if you win the championship, you're probably a 50-win team.
It's 63 wins. That's what he's saying.
Oh, for this year, it would be 63 wins. I'm talking about in general. Like most teams that win the championship probably wind up winning actually closer to 70 games, right?
Yeah, closer. This year, geez, if either the Warriors or the Lakers are going to be doing it, then they might not break 60, you know?
That's true. That's a good call.
But if the Nuggets do it, they were won 53 games. So they win 69 games if they win the title.
How you doing?
Nice.
Thank you, Kane. Carolina Knicks fan. I hate Bam out of bio. Hashtag Let's Go Knicks. You'd love him if he were on the Knicks. I promise you that. Robert Cross with another one. It's your boy John. I said for a long, long time that RJ is built for New York. Here we are. Hashtag 53 wins. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. I did not believe it. And I do now. So, good job by you, Robert. More ways than one. The prophecy fulfilled. Brian with another one. Compare this. Oh, wait, no, we already got this. Yeah, here we go. Zach with another one. Zach, you're too kind, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Happy birthday, John. Thanks for all you do. You're so welcome. It's my pleasure. You don't need to, needless to say, nobody needs to thank me for talking about this team. Giving us perspective at times. You're a year or two younger than me, but are wise beyond your years. Yet you still squeal like a child when we win or make a big shot, I'm certain. Leia, tonight was I was doing my best to stay composed. I only paced around my living room or my dining room table a few times, but my heart was like. My heart was beating out. My wife was not handling it well. My wife was the one who was showing the nerves. And it was basically any time in the fourth quarter where the Heat would hit a shot, she was just like, "Why are you letting him do that? What's wrong? Why is this happening?" She's having some crises. But yeah, shout out to my wife. It's amazing. Just makes me happy to be 40. Greg B, what's going on, Greg? Tim should be screaming in the post game about the moving screens. What is there to say? It's all the same shit. Same shit every game. It's about protecting your players. Tons of heart by the Knicks tonight. We should be proud no matter what. We've got a lot of the right guys. I hope Quentin Grimes' knee is okay. Oh, you think it's his knee? I honestly, maybe it is. I don't know. I just know he's not right. But something tells me that dude's playing on Friday. Robert Cross with another one. It's your boy John, or it's your boy. I love Mitchell Robinson. He's my favorite Knick. Hashtag 53 wins. I wonder how many other people that Mitch is their favorite Knick. I think most people right now, Brunson obviously would be their favorite Knick, but I think Brunson's probably overtaken RJ. I think Brunson's probably the Knick that is the most, like, number one on the most people's list. I bet you RJ's number 2. I bet you Quickly's probably number 3. I don't know. Would Mitch be number 4?
When do we get to Obi? Because I think the Julius hive is a very niche hive. And, like, shout out to us. We meet once a week in the back of an empty church. Because
I think the Obi hive is more niche than you think.
I've heard from them a lot the last couple days. So I'm going to say.
No, I get that. But, like,
you're right. You nailed the top 3. It goes Brunson. It goes a version of RJ or Quickly, 2 or 3. And then maybe Mitch.
RJ's definitely Brunson's number 1. I mean, Brunson's, yeah.
Dude, I was going to say, I think we're having the wrong conversation about Brunson or whether he's the number 1 Knick. It's like, go through the city.
Oh, really?
Like, I think there's an Aaron Judge, Jalen Brunson conversation. Like now that Brooklyn never mattered, so I'm not even gonna talk about the big three they put together.
How dare
but-
you not put Nick Claxton alongside Jalen Brunson?
Excuse me. There's no Nick. Excuse me. There's no Met I would put there. There's no Ranger I would put there. There's no Islander I'd put there. I think there's
Aaron Rodgers has not played a game yet.
hasn't played a game yet. So like, I don't know if there's a Giant. I don't know how Giants fans feel about Daniel Jones. I think the star of that team is the head coach. And with the Jets, it's like, I guess Sauce Gardner, but it's really tough to be like the team's face if you're a defense, like if you're a corner.
Yeah, I mean, I that's probably the only Jet I could name other than the quarterbacks.
I think it's Aaron Judge or Jalen Brunson.
I was about to say it's Judge. It's Judge. And
I would give it to Judge. Don't get me wrong. You hit 100 home runs or however many you hit last year. Like you own the city, especially with being a Yankee and whatnot. But
yeah.
I think the next in line is Jalen Brunson.
I think that's fair. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
Good call. That's a good one. Gino B, Quentin Grimes. I like that. That is all go Knicks. Yes. Well said. Andrew Palladino. Thank you, Andrew, for the generous contribution. Happy birthday, John. Appreciate you for saying that. Thank you. Glad they came through for you tonight. They did come through for me tonight. I didn't want them to end the season on my birthday. That would have been fun. 2 months ago, my girlfriend booked a trip to New York from Alabama for my birthday on Monday. Wow. Let's hope they could come through for me on Friday so I could experience what a Game 7 is like in New York. I got to tell you, like, obviously I watch these games from my home just because I hop right on here afterwards. It's no secret. There is a part of me on that if they ever got to, even honestly on Friday, so funny story, Friday night, I actually will be watching probably the first half of this game from a bar. I don't know what bar. My wife and I have early dinner reservations to celebrate my 40th. I got a sitter coming. And then the meal is going to go probably right up until the start of the game. So I think the plan is just find the nearest bar and then right after, like, just watch the first half there. I'm excited to watch the first half of Game 6 in some bar somewhere and just kind of see. I hope the vibe is good. I hope people are into it. I hope people are excited. I hope it's, it's like the old days, so to speak. I've not been out. The only game I've watched out is I watched the first. No, not the first half. I watched like a decent amount of the Denver game, the second Denver game, out this year. And there were some people into it, so that was cool. Anyway, thanks, Andrew. I hope they get it to a Game 7 for you, man. Roger Fortune. My heart rate is through the roof, but I'm willing to go through this for 2 more games if it means a Game 7. 1 game at a time, and honestly, shout out to Julius Randle. Whatever mentality shift he had, find it again. The nice thing about Randle is, like, it's rarely a game-to-game thing for him. It's much more like he gets on a track, and it's a very bad track, and then he stays on that track for a while, like several games, or in the case of last season, like several months, and then eventually something happens, whatever it may be, and he gets off of it, and then it goes the other way for like several games or several weeks or whatever it is. So I'm hopeful that we're going to see a really good version of Julius on Friday night. And man, I'm not saying this just as a Knicks fan. I think that's a legitimately scary thought for the Heat. If you have a version of Julius Randle that is like what Julius Randle is capable of being, and now, is Jalen Brunson going to be able to replicate what he did tonight on Friday? I mean, Jesus, is he literally Superman? I don't know. I would expect. Here's my fearless prediction: Friday night. You're going to get a big-time Julius game. I think Jalen won't be bad, but I don't think we're getting another game from Jalen like this. And I think you'll get a good RJ game because that's all RJ does now is he gives you good games. And then is there one other player who could step up for New York in a big way? I think they're going to need one other guy. I don't know who, but I think they're going to need one other guy. I think it's a close game on Friday. Sam Garcia's dad, what's going on, right? What a game. Gut-wrenching at times, but you need to play the full game. Yes, and JB did. And Grimes, too. I love this team. Hashtag Nixon7. Oh, man. It is a great team. That's why I don't want to lose. I don't want the season to end. Ryan Nelson, Macri over low. Stop it. Happy birthday, John. Thank you, Ryan. I'm just... Listen, when I started doing this 5 years ago, I would love to. My goal, my dream, my pie in the sky dream would just be to be the Zach Lowe for the Knicks. That's all I wanted to be. So he is my North Star. Salesman. RJ may not run the fastest or jump the highest, but he has an unmeasurable statistic that is so much more valuable long term. A slow heartbeat. Hashtag burn the crow. Why would you want to burn the crow? Look at him. He's such a stupid looking animal. Happy birthday. Thank you. He does have a slow heartbeat. Big moments of big games. I don't always trust his dribbling. And when you crowd him, I think that could hurt. But other than that, man, you're absolutely right. He really does have a slow heartbeat in these games. HMA 187. What's going on, HMA? When it comes to JB, Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, I believe Mark Twain said it best. It is not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. You know how sad this is? I actually have no idea if that's a Mark Twain quote or not. I would imagine it is not. You're being facetious. But I'm not. I'm 90% sure. Man. Andrew, you might have to look that one up so I don't sound like a complete idiot.
Initial Google search says it's Mark Twain.
That can't be right.
I don't think it is. I've always gotten it from elsewhere, but I will keep looking.
If that's actually a Mark Twain to a gut, that's amazing. Sam Garcia's dad, again, happy birthday, John. Thank you. I loved watching the Heat whine and cry about calls and fouls. Hashtag FU Heat culture. Fuck the Heat. Seriously. Will Oliver, Obi in the second quarter, Grimes in the fourth. We got this already. Here we go. Russ Gooberman. What's going on, Russ? Happy birthday, Mr. Macri. Thank you. Appreciate it. KFS has really added flavor to my Knicks fandom these past years. It's the best compliment that we get, I promise you. To be a companion to your Knicks fan watching experience. It's great. Thank you. If this win was the capper of a turnaround season, I'll take it. Yeah, look, 29 teams end the season with a loss. Actually, that's not true. 15 teams end the season with a loss, and then there are 14 teams that don't get the opportunity to end the season with a game that matters. So accepting the fact that the odds are that at some point the season will end with a loss, I think it's an admirable statement saying that if this win could be the capper, and if it is, you'll take it. I think that's fair. But I don't know, let's see if we get one more. Or two more. Or three. Or four. Or five. No, not gonna do the thing. Matt G, what's going on, Matt? Rebounded much better. I mean, they certainly had the rebounding margin. Please take Brunson off of Duncan Robinson, what Benji's been screaming. Cut back on the turnovers, please. Focus Julius Randle, and we have a chance on Friday. Yes. Brunson and Grimes are gladiators. They don't even need the armor. Their skin is impenetrable. Thank you, Matt. DDD 137. There was a long period in the fourth where I could actually, literally, not joking, feel my heart rate fluctuate with the score. That's a great comment. Thank you, DDD137. Meanwhile, Anthony Davis left tonight with a head injury, and he was escorted away from the bench with a wheelchair. It's not what you want, as the Warriors are about to win this game. Brian Lests with another one. Thank you again, Brian. Personal dilemma. Leave for my destination wedding on Saturday. Game 7 would be while I should be entertaining 114 people in Mexico. Rooting for Game 7 may ruin my marriage before it begins, but God damn it, let's freaking go. Knicks, hashtag 55 wins. Well, a couple things. Bad job by you agreeing to get married during basketball season. Now, it's a destination wedding, so I'm guessing you probably booked this at the latest last summer, and maybe even during last season. So if that's the case, certainly you could be forgiven for not anticipating that the Knicks would be involved in a potential Game 7 in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Do not miss your destination wedding. My wedding is still the happiest day of my life. It'll be the happiest day of yours, I hope. Yeah, you should go to it and maybe figure out a way to spin, like, because Game 7's on Monday. So, like, have that be like, I assume that's not like the day of the actual ceremony. I'm sure there's a way for you to spin this if it happens, where you could parlay, you could make it part of the event. Just be creative. That's all. I'm sure your wife will be totally cool with it. Thank you, Brian. Busy. We're not dead yet. 1 win in Miami. Happy birthday, J-Mac. Thank you, Busy. Appreciate you. Rich McLeod coming at you live from Philly. Fuck the Heat. Amen to that. Art by Wicks. Sounds like we lost the game tonight once we got on the topic of Randle. I mean, it was bad. It was really bad. It was one of the most... I'll say this. I think how I felt personally, this is just me. How I felt after the first quarter of this game is the worst I felt about this team since the first Dallas game on December 3rd. And other than that, it's the worst I felt about the team all year. I was that down. I was so down seeing what we saw. And it wasn't all him. But that's how bad it was. Frank Miranda with another one. What's up, Mac? It's your boy Frank from Patreon. Thank you, Frank. Can someone give Randle the Three Stooges treatment and poke his other eye? Frank, you have like one of the more unique senses of humor that I've ever come across in my life, and it's hysterical. Because it's like completely authentic too, which is great. I wish people could like see you and hear you, because when you deliver, every time you put a super chat, I hear you saying it. If we can get this version of him, yes, please. All for it. YouTube user, thank you for the generous contribution. Hart is the ultimate team player, well aware of the infatuation Tibbs has for him. Willingly got himself into foul trouble, forcing Tibbs to sit him. Allowing Quentin Grimes to play 48 and the win. Hashtag respect. Listen, Josh Hart's still a winning player. He did not have a great game tonight. He hasn't had a great couple games. He'll be fine, and I have a feeling they're going to need him in Miami on Friday. Thank you, YouTube user. Frank with another one. What's up, Mac? It's your boy Frank from Patreon. Happy birthday, Mac. Thank you. You guys have created a cheers environment. And you are Sam, my boy. That as someone who bartended for more years than I'd care to admit. That means a lot to me. Especially as someone who like I didn't just bartend. I wasn't like some bullshit guest bartender or doing weekends and stuff. Like I was, Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights are the best night to bartend. Because if you're going out on a Wednesday night, like you mean it. First night of the weekend. Anyway, that's a great compliment. Thank you. Appreciate it. Welcome to the 40 Club. Yeah. I'm happy to be here. Kevin Nanishevsky with another one. I need the Quentin Grimes take maestros to come outside. I just want to talk. I found the Ewing performance that tops Jalen Brunson. 45-13, 6-3 versus Detroit in 1990. Nothing else. Oh, man. I mean, Ewing had some. I mean, you got to keep in mind with Ewing, it's two-way play, right? It's I mean, there are games that I'm sure throughout the 90s that he was utterly dominant defensively and, maybe scored, 30 points or something, or 25 points or 28 points, but completely changed the game on defense. And then the other thing you have to consider is 30 points in 1991 or maybe 1991, but like 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, all those years, 30 points back then is a lot different than 30 points now. So, listen, Ewing had a lot of great playoff games. Clyde Frazier, Willis Reed, even Dave DeBusschere had himself some. What? You're on mute. I can't hear you.
So keep going, but Kevin's, I only have one Ewing game, and just leaving out Game 7 against Indiana in 94 is just wild to me.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's one of those ones you throw the stats out the window. And
John, you want to hear the stats for Patrick Ewing in Game 7 against Indiana at the Garden in 94 to send them to the finals?
I don't think he had 30 points, but correct me if I'm wrong. He had it was like 17 rebounds or 16 rebounds or something.
Try 22.
He had 22 in that? Jesus Christ.
He had 24 points, 22 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 blocks.
There you go.
Yeah. Kevin, we can enjoy Jalen Brunson before saying that he did more than Patrick Ewing. My goodness.
No, it's like there's like categories, right? There's pockets. There's Ewing, there's the Ewing pocket, there's the 70s guys pocket. Since Ewing, I mean, like,
I'll put this over any Melo game. I would say Houston's 34 points.
I was about to say
clinch Game 6 against the Pacers, and then Spree's Game 5 in a losing effort.
Well, that's the Spreewell Game 5 against San Antonio is the greatest game I've ever seen in person.
Oh, okay. It's those are the two.
Scored half his team's points.
Right. I mean, 78-77 final. I get it. I'm just saying, like, those are the two, like, Spreewell Houston games I'd go to. Here's what I'll say. I hope that Brunson has a Game 7 in the Garden to send the Knicks to the finals in a couple of years, or even, hey, next round, so we can then have the conversation again.
Yeah, but like, look, it's now double-digit playoff games, right? For him, 10 playoff games. So it's like, okay, that's a commensurate number, and to average above 26 points in these games, pretty good. So by the way, I left out a fairly significant playoff figure in Knicks history. Someone by the name of Bernard King would also like a word in terms of a pocket of games that need to be considered.
A whole ass round that Bernard King can point to and be like, "Oh, I was amazing," and then a second round where you went head to head with a guy named Larry Bird. Ever heard of him? Kevin has clarified. Kevin has clarified in the chat. I almost don't want to have him clarify because it's funnier if he doesn't. He meant to say that there's nobody else but Ewing, like not just this game. Like Ewing's the only one. I still think you're wrong, but since Ewing, fine. This is what I'll give you, Kev.
Alex, man, thank you, Alex. Hashtag 53 wins. Hello from the land of enchantment. I love you guys. Love this team. My heart and liver need recovery. Can you explain how Brunson didn't make All-NBA or All-Star? Leon Rose, Executive of the Year. Hashtag 53 wins. I couldn't figure out how to do a $53.53 super chat. Sorry. I did the All-NBA. I think voters for NBA All-NBA tend to value if you play over what is I've done the homework. I've gone through the history. The 2/3 of the season, that's the cutoff. That's the cutoff. If you play more than 2/3 of the season, history suggests that if you get above a certain threshold, which is basically like if you had played at that level and played more games, you would be like in the thick of the MVP conversation. Like if you're at that level, you will get voted into All-NBA. So in this case, that's Dame and that's Steph, because they both just cleared that threshold. I think Steph played in the high 50s. I want to say Dame maybe played, I don't know exactly how many games Dame played, but it was maybe a few less than Steph. And the other thing I think people considered is the fact that like Lillard was shut down by his team. I think people factored that in, rightly or wrongly. And like, look, if we're keeping it a buck, Jalen Brunson played. How many games did he play this season? I don't think he played 70 games. I think he missed. Game 6, by the way, will be 7:30. Not surprised because the Lakers lost and they're gonna air 2 games on Friday night. So yeah, that'll be fun. But I think the All-Star thing is probably a little bit more egregious. Yeah, I think the All-Star one is probably a little bit more egregious. I'm just looking to see how many games Brunson actually played this year. Jalen Brunson played 68 games. So it's like if Jalen Brunson had gone out there and he had played like 77, 78, 79 games, I actually think he might have made it. I think he might have made it, or at the very least, he would have been like 2 spots higher in terms of vote getters. Probably would have gotten above Drew and probably would have gotten above Ja at the very least. I just don't think he was making it over Fox or Dame or Steph. Those are the 3 guys. Like Mitchell, SGA, and Doncic were automatics. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate you, man. Andrew Palladino, what's going on, Andrew? Hashtag 53 wins. Hashtag bring back final review. I wasn't gonna say it when Bernard was on, but like, yeah, we miss final review, but also Andrew's a busy man.
You think? I'll just give some clarity on that. Oz and I have been texting. The last year since we took a break from the show has been eventful. On my end, I got engaged, launched the Mets podcast, and Knicks Film School became even busier because we did a pregame pod, and the Knicks are in the second round of the playoffs. And Oz went through a bit of a career change, but with movies now seeming to be a thing again, I don't think the version of final review that you all enjoyed will be coming back, but there's some rumblings going on, so stay tuned is my official update on that side of things.
I just miss hearing you guys talk.
That may be what we do. Final review might just be us talking about movies. There's some catching up to do between me and Oz, so stay tuned.
That makes me happy. That's actually the best birthday present I've gotten.
You're welcome. Can I have the actual gift I gave you back then?
No.
Okay. Well, 2 gifts is okay.
Keith, what's going on, Keith? Live from Disney World. Birthday's in a little over an hour. Happy birthday to you, Keith. And our Knicks fought and lived to see another day. I can't complain. Shouts to KFS. Thank you so much, Keith. Have fun. Great job by you celebrating your birthday in Disney World. That's a good thing to aspire to. Wilton Moran, what's going on, Wilton? Thank you for the generous contribution. Happy birthday, Macri. Thank you. Thank you for all you and the rest of KFS crew do. It's again, it's truly my pleasure. this is why I don't want. I don't like to do things like this. I'm overwhelmed, and I don't really have anything else to say other than thank you, and I'm undeserving of the generosity and the kind words, but I appreciate it. Yeah. Mark R. Happy birthday, Macri. You've been on point. I don't know if I've always been on point, but I do try my best to be on point. This is a resilient team. Yes. Julius is maddening. Most maddening player ever. I wavered. See, again, I'm not always on point because earlier this season, I said that RJ had taken the mantle from Randle as the most maddening player that I've ever watched. And what a stupid thing to say. Randle has that. He has the lifetime title. Tibbs' hate went too far. I mean, you preaching to the choir. And just like you predicted, Robert Cross gets 53 wins on your birthday. LOL. Let's go Knicks. Yeah. Well, happy it could happen. It's a cool thing. Funny. David Fudernick, my main man. Thank you. Brunson's already my favorite Knick since Pat. I said it. Nothing. That's no shame in that. Iconic spots all around tonight. Happy 40th. Speaking of 40 years, I just had a vision of Jalen Brunson a la Clyde tonight being honored on the Jumbotron, ring in tow. Okay, done. I'm like, I can't even imagine that. I can't, but like, I think the reason watching tonight was so special and watching this season has been so special is because watching Brunson, I was going to say, like, you get the sense like he's going to figure out how to get a ring one of these days. I do think that a little bit, but more importantly, and I know maybe this isn't how we should be thinking in the middle of a playoff series, but other players around the league, they see this shit. And just imagine being a player, like a star player in the league, to know that, like, because think about it, like why do players not want to come to the Knicks historically? Why have players not want, and not even like, guess what? Like, even after the Durant thing, still nobody really has pushed their way here. Like, yeah, Donovan would have loved to come here because Donovan's from here. That's kind of its own thing. But I think a lot of star players, like, why would they want the pressure of trying to win in New York? Like, Kevin Durant clearly did not want the pressure of wearing the Knicks uniform. He wanted to come to New York because he wanted to fucking come to New York because he wanted to be part of a chill organization where he could do what he wants to do, and that's it. But to be a Knick and to be a star player on the Knicks to try to take the Knicks to a championship, the amount of pressure and the stakes and like what happens when you're not doing good and the how the media will treat you and how the fans will treat you and the whole thing. You're not doing that unless you have a guy that okay, I know I could have, this dude's going to ride with me. And I know I could trust him. Every freaking star player in the league watching the playoffs this year, and they all watch it, is looking at what Jalen Brunson has done in this postseason and being like, oh, okay, got it, duly noted. That freaking matters. All right. Jack Weitzman. Dude, are you kidding? I was there and man, sick. I'm not sure what he's referring to.
He was at the game.
Oh, I wonder why he's sick.
Because he's saying the game was sick.
Oh, the game was sick. Like sick.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the slang term sick.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you, Jack. Josso focused. Okay. That would have been my last one if you mentioned Obi's alley-oop. Garden Energy was revived after that play. Deserves mention beyond 2 points. Very fair. Very fair. I should have mentioned what the 2 points were. That's a good call. Elton Chung, great win. After this, do we keep RJ over Randle and Brunson? Man, is he legit, as well as Grimes. This playoff is a great experience for our core. Regardless, this was great for the Knicks going forward. I mean, obviously the answer based on these playoffs is yes. In terms of RJ over Randle. I think this summer is going to be very interesting, and it's not necessarily going to be up to the Knicks who they want to keep. I think, whether it's this summer or at some later point, the Knicks are going to be faced with an opportunity to trade for a star player. And when they are faced with the opportunity to trade for a star player, they're going to have their internal assessment of what is untouchable, and as opposed to what is something that we will put in the deal, we will just require the valuation to be, a certain amount. All of this is to say it is not going to be up to them necessarily. Yes, they're the ones making the trade, but I don't think. And again, maybe they're both back next year. I don't know, but we'll see. Thank you, Elton. Appreciate that question and comment. Brian Valderrama, happy birthday. Thank you, Brian. Mary F. Kill. Jeremy, Andrew, Ben, Nixon 7. I can't. How am I supposed to answer that question? Jesus Christ. That is the most disturbing question I've ever received on this postgame. Not just this postgame, on any postgame. I would kill all of them. Thank you, Brian. Johnny Chiba. What?
What did you just said? You'd kill all of us. I'm not allowed to have a face.
As opposed to the other two options.
I'm wifey material, first of all, and I think. Sorry, Benji, but Jeremy's already his work wife. So,
happy birthday, JMac 40. Congrats on the Knicks. Hashtag 53. Bob times win on your day. Yes. Hashtag sell high. Playoff Randle is poop emoji. Can we trade JR for Jimmy? I don't think so. Hashtag free Obi. Thankful for KFS in Game 7. Hashtag KOC. I always love your shorthand. It means a lot. And I don't think the Heat are trading Jimmy Butler anytime soon. Obi got freed a little bit tonight, so that was good. Thank you, Johnny, so much. Appreciate you, man. Jocelyn focused. Hashtag last one. Happy birthday, John. I hope your birthday wish was for 10 more Knicks wins by July. I'm not gonna lie. I made my birthday wish earlier tonight, and it was something involving my daughter, but I'm very happy the Knicks got their win. I would not mind them getting several more. Haitian Ferg, another one. Jesus. Happy birthday. God bless. Wish you many more. Yeah, that I definitely want. I want many more of these. So thank you. Appreciate that, Haitian. Greg Moran, one day more. That's good. Michael Joseph, this is a growth game for so many of the core for tonight and the future. Let's go get one in Miami. Talk about a growth game. If they ever won one in Miami. I mean, we talk about biggest Knicks wins since whatever. If they won in Miami on Friday, that's the biggest Knicks win since Game 7 in 2000, unequivocally.
Also against the Miami Heat.
Oh, yeah, also against the Miami Heat. Yeah, that's true. Good call. Dom, what's going on, Dom? How are you? I'm so psyched to get a Game 6. That's the team we all know. To see them find themselves while staring at elimination. No words, man. Get back to the Garden to celebrate Julius Randle's achievement and make history. He did have an achievement. 13 All-NBA is no joke, man. 2 All-NBA teams. Man. That's hard to do. Dom with another one. More than likely, we will need a similar performance from our big three and something more from the bench to make up for no quickly or in Miami. Either way, just thrilled to see some new life. We back. I think we're gonna. Like I said it before, I think we're gonna need to get a big game from somebody else, whether it's a Hart or a Grimes or an Obi. Like a 4 for 7 from 3 Obi game, something like that. Now Grimes is gonna play a ton of minutes. The Hart thing, though, I wonder because like with Grimes playing like this and with the spacing concerns and RJ's been great. Like, I wonder how many minutes Josh Hart's going to get on Friday. That's interesting. That's worth watching. Kevin Danishevsky, I'll say it. Star J. Barrett, good contract now. Wow. Do the Knicks have a bad contract? Other, like Fournier, but Fournier's an expiring contract. They don't have a bad contract. It's wild. When's the last time you say that? Dom with another one. I hope my RJ Jalen Brunson NBA Jam shirt is here soon. We're back. That sounds like a good shirt. By the way, speaking of shirts, before we get to Sean's comment, what did I wear tonight? I wore, maybe see this. So this is a shirt, a brand called, I think Slang Magic is the name. I've worn it on here a bunch of times. I probably talked about it other times. But people are gonna laugh their ass off when I tell them what this is. This is Lance Thomas's clothing brand, or brand of apparel, I should say, because it's not just clothing; it's also fishing wear or fishing gear, because Lance Thomas loves to fish. And I was able to interview him at a launch party for this clothing brand, or like some event for this clothing brand several years ago, and they gave out free T-shirts to everybody who came. And I wore it today because I was like, the Knicks need to get back to fundamentals tonight if they're going to win and nail all the little things. And nobody nailed the little things like Lance Thomas. So that is why I wore my shirt tonight. Now, did they nail the fundamentals tonight? I'm not so sure, but they did enough to win, and that's all that matters. Shout out Lance Thomas. Sean Hardy, what's going on, Sean with the W? You've been hot since May 10th, 1983. I thought I changed that. Is that still on my Twitter? I hope not. Happy birthday. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it, man. CT Pittman, the OG. Happy birthday, Macri. What a birthday gift. Love you, my man. Thank you. Glad we got it for you. Danny Gardner, the RJ block on Butler to the Brunson 3 was amazing. The RJ, yeah, did I write that one down? Yeah. It was good to see because Brunson or Butler has eaten RJ's lunch a couple of times in terms of the big defensive plays. So it was nice to see RJ get the shoe on the other foot. That was cool. Christopher Webb, what's going on, Chris? Does Miami going hack a Mitch in the fourth reek of fear, worry, in your opinion? No, I think they were just down and they looked at the game situation and they were like, it's a good time to try it. Got little to lose. Although at the same time, like, their defense was so solid in the fourth when they were trapping and being really aggressive, and the Knicks were a little rattled because the Knicks had the lead, and like we know how that goes. So I don't know. You might have a point. I didn't take it that way, but you might have a point. If Miami was straight up better, would they really resort to such tactics? I mean, I don't view that as like some like lesser than like, oh, how dare you resort to this? That's not like what a real team does. I think it's fair. It's a very fair tactic. I just, I think Miami also has a really good defensive DNA, and the fact that they thought that was a good idea there, yeah, it says something for sure. Richard with another one. Thank you again, Richard. My goodness. We have a pulse. Let's go Knicks. Yes, we do. Thank goodness for that. Tom with another one. Hey, Scotty, Grimes is him, just so you know. Which Scotty are you referring to? Scotty. Oh, Scotty Barnes. Yes. Oh, yes. 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 Grimes is him. Tom with another one. Wear your new shirt, proud Robert. Let's get another one Friday night. We back. You got to wear the shirt because if they win on Friday, the shirt goes out of style. The shirt is never going to be more in style than today and tonight, tomorrow, and Friday during the day, and potentially all summer. Sam Garcia's dad, what's going on again, Ray? Maybe not trading RJ and Grimes over the summer was a good thing. You think? Hashtag happy 40th. Oh boy, if it wasn't 2 hours and 45 minutes into this post game, and I didn't still have a newsletter to write, I would go on a diatribe about how, just from a valuation perspective, with the understanding that in the NBA, you have to give to get. With that understanding, Grimes, RJ, and 3 unprotected firsts for the Knicks, plus some protected picks for Mitchell, just from a valuation perspective. Even suggesting that, again, purely from a valuation perspective, and I'm keying in on that because a valuation perspective is different than if the Knicks, with their roster construction and where they were at the time in their cycle as a team, should have traded for Mitchell. The answer to that, I think, is a clearer no, especially with Brunson and having Brunson and Mitchell in the backcourt. I don't know if that's going to work. So, but from a pure valuation perspective, the fact that it's even a conversation right now, that's pretty good. That's a good job by RJ, by Grimes, by the Knicks. And I say that, and Donovan Mitchell's freaking awesome. Second team All-NBA. You could argue he deserved first. I think he thought he deserved first. That said, didn't have a great playoffs for the second year in a row. Worth noting. Ben with another one. Ben, I feel like I talked to you 3 hours ago because I did. We out-roughed our older brother tonight. At some point, little brother's going to grow up. Now it's time to put him down. Hashtag Robert was right. God help us. Happy birthday, John. Thank you, Ben. Bulldog Boxing Promotions. What's going on, Bulldog? Just finished my law school semester at University of Florida. Congratulations to you. Good accomplishment. Very nicely done. Good law school there. We'll be making the 5-hour drive to Miami for Game 6. Let's bring it home. Hashtag Knicks tape. Man, enjoy the drive. I'm wondering, I'm guessing do you go cross state at the top, or do you go down like past Tampa and like Naples and then go across Alligator Alley there and then go down to Miami? I guess you'd probably want to, I don't know, 6 one, half dozen the other probably. But enjoy the drive, enjoy the game. And congratulations on finishing the law school semester. G.O., what's going on, G.O.? Let's go Knicks. JB was unreal. RJ was great. Gutsy performance from Grimes. Kudos to Julius for making the adjustments in the second half. Night and day versus the first. The pressure is on Miami now. Oh, man. Is the pressure on Miami? I don't know that they feel pressure. I don't know that we have evidence that they feel pressure. I hope they're feeling some pressure.
Can I just, important clarification? There may be pressure on them. They just don't feel it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pressure's on. For sure. Kento Cato. What's going on, Kento? Was scared after the first quarter. I thought the season was over, frankly. But thank God for Brunson, RJ, and Grimes. Seemed like every player had their moment. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. And everybody had their moment today. Made it a good win. Jason Feldman, what's going on? Jason, hit me a haiku, Johnny. A haiku. Remind me, what is this again? The haiku, Andrew? It's
575. JB.
No,
okay.
The Knicks survive. No, that's
4.
4.
The Knicks have survived.
No. Our Knicks survived. Our Knicks survived.
Our
Brunson.
No, that's the only 4 syllables.
Our is 2 syllables.
Right, but you replaced the with our.
Our Knicks survive. That's 5.
Oh, I have our as 1 syllable.
Is our 1 syllable?
Yeah, it's our. Our. I mean, we were an hour, almost an hour 3.
Fine. The Knicks have survived.
There you go.
Jalen Brunson is him. Yes.
Happy birthday, Mac. Happy birthday, John. There you go. There's your haiku, Jason.
The most embarrassing haiku in the world.
It took us an hour. It took us an hour, you know.
Quentin Grimes digs in. That's the end of the haiku.
Oh, there you go.
The main connects. Just get 1 win in Miami and then house money in MSG. See, it's funny. I see that in the opposite way. I see this game 6 as if the Knicks are playing with house money. I think they're playing with house money in game 6. I think if they get it to a game 7, but then again, game 7, it's like there's no this team playing with house money or that team playing with house money. Like it's game 7. The pressure's on for everybody. RJ looked like he added a lot of moves to his bag. I love Tibbs adjusting in the middle of the series. # great coach. He's been it's been up and down, but he's been okay. And God, you guys know nobody's bigger supporter of Tibbs than me. Josso focused came back for another # last one to mention. RJ out Kyle Lowry. Okay, I think I'm done this time. Happy birthday again, John. # Knicks in 7. Are you talking about when he? Well, oh yeah, when he hooked Lowry. That was good. When he hooked Lowry. Kevin Danishevsky, humble John is better than life itself. We all love you. Kev, you're just too. I mean, just a fortunate Knicks fan. Thank you, Kev. I appreciate that. The main connects with another one. If RJ adds that floater in his mid-range going forward and his 3-point shot, oh boy, I think the floater is so big for him. And he's had it. That's the thing in the playoffs. He's had it. The mid-range shots, I don't know what the percentages are, but it feels more reliable than the regular season. Those short mid-rangers. He had a. I want to look it up. It felt like he had a long-ish 2. I say ish in this game. And I feel like it came late too. Hold on. Now I'm going to look this up real quick. Where was it from? Yeah, it was kind of from the baseline. It was, it's not coming up, but he had one long-ish 2 from the baseline. It was like a 15, 16 footer. Very encouraging. Thanks to the main connects. All right, Ahmad Khalil. Julius played with a bum ankle and seeing out of one eye tonight. Let's put some respect on the name of our 2-time All-NBA player. That's fair. That's fair. The eye thing is legit, and I think he might be hurt. Still want to see a little bit more, but that's fair. I appreciate that, Amid. Seriously, Ahmad. Yeah. Benjamin Ridholtz. I was like, who's this? Happy birthday, John Macri. What are you doing? Leader of men, RJ Believer, the blog father, Ridholtzman hirer. That's all Andrew. I'd take the credit for it. I mean, God will I take the credit for it, but that was Andrew went and got that done. Thank God he did. Knicks Inspire. Love you, brother. You deserve a win. Thank you. Benji, you are the best in the business at what you do. Knicks land or anywhere. And I'm just really fortunate that we get to have your services for however long we get to have them for before you move on to bigger and better things, or we can get you to sign a lifetime contract, one or the other.
Listen, these super chats keep coming. we may be able to. You know?
I don't know, man. Benji's elite. He deserves.
Benji's outstanding. If we lose him to the Knicks, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
That's the only case, I'll be fine. I also want to plug Benji's most recent film session. These things he's been doing on Playback have been outstanding. It's a bit of a game changer for us. So I just want to shout out Benji. He's doing a great job with that. If you want to be a patron to join his film sessions live, it's literally like a game tape film session where you can ask questions and get his opinion and get X's and O's. If you want to join him live, become a patron. We do upload them on YouTube the next day. But yeah, just shout out to Benji because he's like you said, he's the best in the biz and he's been killing it. The next 4 are from a special guest. Excuse me, the next 5 are from a special guest. And it's the only time that I'm going to ask you to read out the dollar amount of the super chat.
Okay. Fred Katz, $3.47. Robert Cross is still no Dean Wade. Hashtag they did it. $5.46. Ask Robert Cross what tomorrow's lottery numbers are and text them to me, please. Hashtag $53 million. $5.43. I am supposed to be working on a story about Jalen Brunson right now, but instead I am choosing to pay YouTube to message someone I could text for free. Yes, you are, Fred. I can confirm. Big if true. Fred Katz, $3.22. Can you please lend me $3.22?
Yeah. And then
finally,
God.
Fred Katz, $2.42. Why is the Crow's name not Crow and Barrett Jr.? It is.
I don't think he knew that until now.
Oh, well.
Yeah. The Crow's name is Crowan Barrett Jr. Yes.
And I'll just say, well, everybody's saying nice things about me. I don't think maybe he does and he's just hiding it. I don't think Fred understands how big of a deal it is for me, for us, to have a freaking beat writer of the team essentially be a part of the Knicks Film School family. And like, I just hope that like when he comes on here, like people are subscribing to The Athletic as a result of his work or his appearances, because he's taking the time to do it. And he could be writing, books about Russell Westbrook or Steven Adams. And he's instead choosing to be here with us, which is just blows my mind. It's incredibly kind. So
much appreciated, Fred.
Yeah, thank you. And yes, you can still text me for free. Alex, it's your birthday, boy, John. For your present, I will not tell you whether or not to feel happy. You do you. All birthdays are valid. I gotta tell you, I've been really happy all day, and I'm not a birthday person. I'm not, as you can probably tell, I'm not someone who enjoys attention and the whole thing. But it's been a very enjoyable day, and I that is a credit to everybody. Thank you to everybody here. I know some people have messaged me on Twitter, and I will get to those at some point. But thank you, but mostly just thanks to my wife, who makes every day, special. Matt, thank you, Matt. Feels like a big night in Knicks history. Might be. We'll see. For Brunson, certainly. Brunson with an all-time Knick performance. It was destiny that your 40th birthday occurs on our 53rd win. Happy birthday. It does feel like destiny, right? It does feel like destiny. And then Matt, you are the Zach Lowe drink of Knicks coverage. I drank all my. Do I have any scotch left in this glass? There's a drop. And then another one from Matt. KFS has changed my life. Love you all. Knicks and 7. It's changed my life too. So we're two brothers in that sense. Thank you. Red Sarachek was fortunate enough to be in the building. Awesome stuff. 'Twas bananas. 2 plays beyond the steal for Quentin Grimes. 1, the swing to Brunson for an open 3 twice, and 2, fast break kick out to Julius for the open 3. Is it time to say Brunson is better than Peyton? Alfred Payton or Peyton Manning? The answer is yes.
One actually shows up in the playoffs, so
wow,
it's just a fact.
Shout out to Knicks fan 6 or whatever that was, whatever that Twitter account was.
I was talking about Peyton Manning.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Red. Appreciate it. Fred Katz for $5.46. I owe you several beers now, Fred. If the Knicks win the title, Macri has to eat the bird on a live stream. The bird is made of like cardboard and feathers. I'd probably and 2 wires sticking out of the feet because you're supposed to be able to like, secure this thing to like, I don't know what it's. I mean, it's a Halloween prop. I'm assuming. If I eat this, I would probably die. But if the Knicks win the title, like, what was Bill Simmons' first book called? Now I Could Die in Peace. There you go. The main connects. I think RJ is aligning himself with the other polarizing guys like Eli Manning, Joe Namath, A-Rod, Jeter. Jeter wasn't polarizing. Joe Namath? Joe Namath was polarizing? I mean, he got injured a lot, but man.
Eli Manning is like a saint to Giant fans. So I will say Eli Manning early career is actually like more comparable to RJ, but I'm
That's actually a
vilified.
good comp.
So the comp for RJ is Brandon Nimmo, because Brandon Nimmo, the first couple of years, a lot of people found a lot of value in what he does in the details, but he didn't have like eye-popping numbers. And then people were like, he actually stinks. And so he was actually a polarizing player. Now, Brandon Nimmo is one of the best center fielders in baseball. We hope RJ elevates to that level one day.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of inconsistencies, but comes up big in big moments. Yes. That's where I get those other comps.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Bartlett. Wax poetic from you, Jonathan. God bless Quentin Grimes. Knicks in 7. What do you want me to wax poetic about? Quentin Grimes? I mean, it just really I'm actually going to use this as an opportunity to praise the front office. It's really cool that they drafted this two-way force. Not force, maybe a little generous, but like just a two-way guy, really good two-way player, who could be on the floor. I mean, think about it again. I'm saying it out loud. They drafted a two-way wing who is on the floor for 48 minutes, and they drafted that player with the 25th pick in the draft. And then the year before that, they drafted the guy that was arguably should have been the 6th man of the year, and ended up being the runner-up for 6th man of the year. The year before that, they drafted him with the 25th pick in the draft. Like, that's elite level stuff.
How far back with the front office do you want to go? Look at Mitchell Robinson.
That's Scott Perry.
That's Scott Perry. So, and then like extending him re-signing him for the contract he did. Just bravo all around,
Great job by them. Bulldog Boxing Promotions. Do you think Hart's flagrant foul on Jimmy's 3 was BS?
No. Or was it BS? Yes.
Yes.
No, it was not a flagrant foul. I could not understand that kick out. That flagrant foul made me put the Mets game on. I thought we were headed for a blowout where the Knicks were having everything go wrong. And
that was.
I thought we were headed for Cancun.
And then don't forget. I mean, we haven't. It's been so far since it's so long since it happened, but there was some real hand wringing over the refs in the first quarter, and I think it was deserved. For me, it was overshadowed by the Knicks' poor play, but the refereeing in the first quarter, was atrocious.
Which is funny on a night the Knicks win the free throw battle.
Like
now,
double, yeah.
This is where I actually think they got back to Knicks basketball, because they were aggressive getting to the rim and getting to the line, and like the Heat also helped with that because of Hakamich. They were in the penalty for the final 4 minutes, and the Knicks shot 10 more free throws down the stretch.
So the free throw discrepancy was not quite as severe as the numbers seem to indicate.
The Knicks probably would have won it by like 9 or 10 as far as attempts go. It became what it was because Spo literally said, I'm going to put Mitchell Robinson at the line to see if I can get possessions out of it.
Yep.
Next up.
Good job by you, Spo. Oh, come on. Man. Seriously?
Yes, seriously. Shout out Robert Cross. Your generosity
doesn't do enough.
Continues to amaze us. Congratulations on your night, my friend.
I just want to say to everybody, like, Robert comes on here and he does the whole. I'll read his comment in a second. It's a whole bit, and obviously contributes generously every night with all the different super chats. Offline, he is not that he's not thoughtful on here. He's playing a character on here, but offline, he's one of the more thoughtful people that I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. And again, it's like the fact that that Knicks Film School has introduced me to someone like this. Yeah, it's why this is such a great community. But Robert is just a genuinely amazing person, and it's cool that this moment happened, and that we all kind of get to share in it. It's again, it's so silly, it's so ridiculous, this nonsense, but it's stuff we'll remember 30 years from now. Anyway, Robert's comment. It's your boy John. Take your better half out on me for your birthday. I'm glad you are my friend. Thank you for everything. #53 wins. Well, makes two of us. And I am taking her out, like I said, on Friday, where we will probably be finishing up our dinner right when the Knicks tip off. We have 6 o'clock reservations, so it's just a matter of I may have to do before I go here, do some live scouting for what bar I'll watch the game at. We'll see. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for being a friend. The main connects. Are the Knicks hiding Quentin Grimes by not giving him a lot of shot attempts? I mean, I've said for a while now, I think he's the type of guy that you should get 10 3-point attempts a game. I think the Miami Heat are also cognizant of the fact that Quentin Grimes is a good shooter. So I don't think it's all what the Knicks aren't doing. I think it's part of what the Miami Heat are doing. Fern Rodriguez. John, my 2 girls are 11 and 6 and have never seen their dad act this way during a Knick game, yelling and stomping. My wife didn't know the 90s me. Glad this me is back. Let's win 2 more. Happy birthday, J-Mac. That's a great comment. Thank you, Fern. I can't wait till my girls get a little older. My daughter was into this game for the most part. My youngest is obviously 2 years old. But yeah, I'm excited about that. And it was really cool that you got to have that experience. So very cool. Thanks, Fern, for sharing. Buzzer beater. Will IQ play in Game 6? Do we want IQ for Game 6? We want him if he could be back. I don't think he plays. Thanks, Buzzer beater. Red Sarachek with another one. Don't double Jimmy. Keep fighting. Play the next one as a play-in down in that spray tan of an arena. If we do, there's a chance 7th Avenue gets,
Spray tan of an arena is a tremendous
That's
joke.
good. Don't double Jimmy. They're not doubling him, but
they got away from it a little bit tonight. Which I was happy about.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah. Now I don't know if that had anything to do with Jimmy not being as aggressive. I have a theory. I've been texting Giancarlo and being like, so Jimmy, 12 shot attempts tonight. I know he took a bunch of free throws, but just a weird Jimmy night. And he's like, this stretch of the series is where Jimmy's ankle's really going to get tested because it's every other day. And you wonder if Jimmy's conserving himself because they were up 3-1 for a big Game 6. That's the theory, at least as far as Jimmy's night is concerned.
Can I respond to that?
Sure.
Fuck Jimmy Butler's ankle.
Oh, I agree. Fuck Jimmy Butler's ankle. I was just trying to provide a potential reason. I hope his ankle falls off and magically heals as soon as the series is over. You don't wish injury on a player, but if it helps the Knicks win, I'm not going to complain. And then again, talk to Pastor Claudio. We'll get the magical healing powers of Jesus to get it all ready for the offseason so he can enjoy South Beach all he wants while the Knicks are in the conference finals.
I'm really appreciative of the fact that we brought Jesus into the conversation before we signed off.
Right after you said, fuck Jimmy Butler's ankle?
Right after I said that, yes.
Amen.
Can I get an amen?
Church.
Red Sarachek. Wow, just spoke to Weiss from Weiss and Rosenblum, and he said they are matching Robert Cross's super chats tonight. All proceeds go to the Spolstra Spray Tan Fund. I wonder if Spolstra spray tans.
I wouldn't be I would be shocked.
You'd be shocked?
He lives in Miami.
So you think he just tans?
There's a natural tan outside every day. There's a natural spray tan outside every day. Walking to your car, you might get a tan.
This is true. All right, I think I found the bar that I'm going to wind up watching at on Friday. Here, let's keep going.
Last one.
Oh, okay. Buzzer beater. What a hell of a birthday present. Hashtag happy birthday, J-Mac. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Can I say it? We're done?
We're done.
Okay. Should I say where I'm probably going to watch this game?
Sure.
Let's see.
John, I don't know if you figured it out yet. You kind of say where you're going to be often, and I can't really control it.
No, I won't say it because I'm not sure if I'm going to be there, and I don't want to
Okay.
give a bar business where I'm not going to wind up going. I just want to say, really, really, very fast. For a number of years, I was dreading this birthday, specifically 40, because I was, 40 is like it's middle of your life. It's where you kind of like you take assessment of everything you've done, and you're like, okay, this is essentially what you are by this point, and you're supposed to be somewhere by 40, whatever it is, wherever here is, you're supposed to be somewhere by 40. And I was dreading it for a long time because, as I've kind of spoken about before, I was always raised to define yourself by your who you are as a person, for sure, but really your professional success and what you accomplish in the world and the imprint you leave on it. And that's why I've always traditionally hated birthdays, because they are days where you are celebrating a person. And I don't believe you should celebrate a person just for being a person. I believe you should celebrate accomplishments. Again, that's how I was raised, foolish or otherwise. The point is that this birthday arrived, and I had a smile on my face all day. And there are several reasons for that. But one of the top reasons is that I, as evinced by tonight, I think, can wake up every day and feel like whatever I do for the rest of my life, hopefully I'm a good dad, hopefully I'm a good husband, hopefully I'm a good friend, all of these sorts of things. But I think I could turn around and say that I did something where Knicks Film School has so much meaning to me, not only as a community that I feel more a part of than any community I've ever been a part of in my life, and it's not even particularly close, but just to be able to do this and to have people say that it means something to them, literally has made me like be able to enter my 40s with a smile on my face and being able to look at myself in the mirror and be proud of what I see when I look at what looks back at me. And again, that may be some misguided thinking. And none of that happens without the guy that is on the screen with me right now. And that's Andrew Claudio, because, I for too many reasons to go through on here, but dude, you are my, like, I mean, any thing that a person can have in like the world, friend, like you're my, I mean, I'll just say you're like my secretary. You are my secretary.
I am in charge of your schedule. That is true.
You are my hype man. You are my, like, fill in any blank like that you need. You're my freaking electrician. You come and you set up my shit when I don't know how to do it. Just everything. And it's all because years ago you were like, hey, let's do something together. And man, it's been quite a journey. So I just want to say thank you to you. Thank you to everybody who's ever watched Knicks Film School and listened and been a part of this community. It means so much to me. And just a couple more, like JB. I know he has a busy life these days writing about the Mets, but handed over this title, of Knicks Film School many years ago, and that's a big deal. And then just last two, I wouldn't be a good Italian boy if I didn't thank my mom as I turned 40. for giving me the work ethic to make it happen. And then, of course, my wife, who is long fast asleep. And that is because she deals with 2 children every day and has made the sort of sacrifices to allow Knicks Film School to happen over the years that people can't possibly fathom. And I owe everything to her. So I just want to say those couple of things before I get out of here. But yeah, thanks to everybody tonight for coming, chiming in, and all the kind words. I think that's it, right?
Just one more thank you. Thank you, John Macri, for everything you do for Knicks Film School. And I hope, as much as you asked me and I honored your wishes until the game was over,
thank you.
To not even mention that you had a birthday, that this was even a day on the calendar. I hope you feel as appreciated as we do appreciate you. On behalf of however big the portion is that does appreciate you, according to Robert Cross.
That's the best line of the whole
Thank
season.
Thank you, John. Happy birthday. And let's go get another one on Friday.
Let's go get it on Friday. Here we go. Giddy up.